grounds on Friday. So that one, though it was not a fast delivery, it definitely bounced a bit more. And by the time he was coming through with the stroke, the ball was on him. He was a bit, I don't want to say uncommitted, but nevertheless, he's off the mark.
The captain, Dhoni, comes into strike, the right-hander. He's on-driving his first ball up to his opposite member in Naeem Young, who's very close there at mid-on. And the score remains on 1 without loss. We say good morning to the folks all over the world, wherever you're listening to us on the West Indies YouTube channel. We want to thank Jason and his entire team, 360 crew, for the outstanding work here so far. Just looking at the scheduling set, I would have thought maybe that the West Indies maybe would have played the first 2 games at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. We'll get back to that. Bang on target is Lane again. He's a big guy, and I just want to see him get that left foot more or less braced. He's sort of collapsing. I'll have to watch that. Jason, flick up something there for me again. Let me make sure that I'm seeing right. I just feel that Lane, look again, Seth. The brace foot. Yeah, I'd just like to see him just get that braced a little more. But he's learning as a learning guy. He's a good guy. And he's one for the future. Bang on target again. Just punched up to the offside.
Certainly one for the future, Vernon. And he's a quick learner. I think he picked up the conditions well at the Seviv. In the last game, his first over was not, in fact, went for 7 runs. And by his third over, he was able to get 2 wickets. So he's a quick learner. So most of the youngsters in the West Indies Academy team.
1 without loss. Cummins is 1. Pitched up again, good delivery. And I hope that their coach, Wayne Griffith, told them that they have to attack the stumps some more. I thought in the first game set, didn't bowl enough deliveries at the stumps. And you got the new ball, your mission really is to really touch down. When you're playing white ball cricket, that W column is so important. You want to get wickets, especially early wickets. And so you want to keep looking at those feet, looking at the stumps. The base of the stumps is also going to be important. Worked away by the Ireland emerging captain. He's off the mark into the deep backward square leg area. So both batsmen are off the mark. And at the end of over number 1, we're 2 without loss.
Well, a good start from Lane. The Irish batters are just trying to see themselves, just trying to analyze the conditions here at the Coolidge Cricket Grounds. And I think once they do, it would be interesting to see their approach, because I think Murray Cummins, who batted through the entire innings in their first game, which they won by 26 runs, all eyes would be on him. He has confidence going his way. He has acclimatized to the conditions. And I think it would just be up to Stephen Deherney, who really didn't feature well in his opening game, to really step up to the plate. The West Indies Academy captain, he continues to open the bowling, and he will be doing that from the southern end.
So Dhoni just taking a leg stump guard to Naeem Young. Dhoni. West Indies emerging academy starting with 2 slips, a third man, backward point to cover, mid-on, mid-off. Feeler more or less just on a short fine leg, pretty risky. Gonna get set to maybe comment on that. Dhoni is driving a half volley for 4. Loose delivery there by Naeem Young. And I'm kind of thinking maybe
you say meat and drinks. Look at this coming over and right in the slot. He had no problem just caressing it out through cover for 4. Yes, I would have thought that McKenny Clark in, it would have been a good idea. I also thought that even in the opening game, it could have been a Lane Pittman opening the bowling. But the captain has other thoughts.
He's got a bag of tricks. Naeem Young. Pitched up again. And Dhoni not coming out enough to that one. He could have pounced on that someone, hit that past Nando at mid-on. Want to say congratulations to Joseph Red Spurera. He received a doctorate in Guyana. Well deserved. One of the real broadcast legends Also had a workshop in Ghana, so Reds is still pushing on.
That's good.
Young. Back of
Yes.
the length delivery.
Reds has been such an inspiration to broadcasting and cricket in the Caribbean and throughout the world. He's really, in fact, before I met him, I knew of him. And that speaks volume. I remember Vern and I was at Yasco doing football commentary, radio. And Reds came by. He was OECS sports director. He came and he joined the commentary.
Young to Dhoni. Dhoni just opens the face of the bat and stares this down to the third man area. Picks up his 5th run, 6th run of the morning. Score goes up to 7 without loss. Depth of the crease there and a lot of pace there from 9 Young. And in the background there we just heard another big one, as they would say, touching down at the VC Bird International Airport. This is the tourist season which has started in the Caribbean, so you know there's a lot of buzzing activities, and most likely a lot of the English visitors will start arriving next week on Virgin, British Airways for the West Indies England series. That's going to be exciting. The century maker from the first game, the man himself, Murray Cummins, playing around a straight delivery. Misfield there from Allen, and they get an easy single in the end. I think one of the things that we would want to see a major improvement in the West Indies academy team would be also their ground fielding consistently. And they're catching, they got to catch well.
Yes, I think sometimes it's a matter of, I don't want to say that they're a bit casual, but you get that sense in the field that they would perhaps sometimes allow the opponent to get away with things. We saw that 8 without loss after 2, but we saw that critical 103 run partnership that really got the Irish emerging players on the way towards what ended up to be a 26-run victory. And you thought that during that period there were some lapses in terms of field placement. I think also there were some lapses in terms of the urgency, as you mentioned, of the players attacking the ball. And then it was basically a situation where I thought that they surrendered the game even that early.
Remember at that point in time, Ireland was 6 for 79, 7
That's
for
correct.
111, 8 for 123. And, you know, you have to understand at this level, at this next level, winning has to become a culture, and you need to be aggressive. You have to make sure you can't be conservative. You got to go all out. Lane to Cummins, and Cummins playing a loose shot there. There was no movement, more hands really going at it. And now he's rehearsing that he should have maybe left that one. Good choice in the end there. But so far, this track has not looked bad. Good carry, good pace as compared to what we saw at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Everything happened there at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. The ball was turning, it was bouncing.
Yeah.
Everything happened. 8 without loss.
Gave the spinner definitely.
Got some rip. It was a different track here today. But bowled again by Ewan Lane and just had to defend Cummins. Murray Cummins, 8 without loss. Cummins in the first game scoring a magnificent 100. In fact, he stood between the both teams. 118 not out, batted right through the innings. 129 balls at 14 fours and 1 6. A strike rate of 91. And the Irish would need another accomplished knock from him here today. He's getting a half volley and just stroking it. Just leaned into it and hit it past cover down to the boundary for 4. Didn't try to overhit it. Just kept his shape and just offline there from Lane and put away nicely from Cummins, who has long levers. So he's going to really put that one away nicely.
Yes, he's looking so much more composed. And you can bet that Doherney believes that he has an opportunity here to make amends for his opening game. Looks polished, looks quite organized, is compact, And as you mentioned, not overhitting, just timing, just rolling the wrist, getting into position.
Again, gets the same delivery, same position. The cameraman will pose for that any day. Half volley by Lane.
Well, you feel nice, do it twice, and that's just the case. The exact delivery. If we had a pitch map, you'd recognize that it was pitch. Same length, same line. And Murray coming, in fact, not Doherney, as I may have said, just came forward and he just played that with just so much timing that all the Chase McKennie Clark would have done resulted in another 4. We have seen 3-4 already in this innings. We're in the third over.
We're into the power play. Cummins is 10. Comes quietly forward, solid, playing the ball right under his eyes. This young man wearing the number 11. And sometimes the pressure tends to get to you. One of the things which I find that, you can strategize set in the dressing room sometimes is what happens on the day.
And that's the point. Cricket, you can get all the coaching, you can do all the strategizing, but it's about execution. You have to make the adjustment.
Lane bowls a slow bumper. It really didn't get up. Well, here was Cummins just rolling the wrists around and just playing it round to Nandu in the short fine leg area. Over number 3 comes to an end. And at the end of it, the emerging Ireland Academy, they're 16 without loss.
I do like the change in line from Lane with that last delivery. Recognizing that Cummins is picking him well outside the off-stump full-length delivery. He went short, even though he didn't have the pace to bother him as he would have liked, but that change of line going towards the body, and I think that was a smart thinking on the part of Lane. Still 16 without loss.
Captain to start his second over. Should be pretty interesting. Ewan Lane just completed the third. Naim Young wearing the number 7 bungs away from us here. Here's a loose shot by Dhoni. More or less a swipe. But I know he'll be trying to capitalize on the power play. That one had some zip on it. 16 without loss. Dhoni, 6. Cummins, 10. We wait for a while here. Trickling of spectators here at the Survivor Stadium on a World Cup morning. Here is Dhoni back and slapping that over backward point down to the boundary for 4. Wide delivery by Naim Young and put away aggressively. Another boundary.
Well, it's raining boundaries here. Outside the off stump, he got width and he handled it well. And I can tell you they're liking these conditions.
Certainly.
And they're liking the bowling. They're liking what is offered so far on the plate.
20 without loss. West Indies Academy, they got to take away those boundary balls. Got to attack the stumps more. This time he was on target. And Dhoni just undriving down to Machu Nandu. It was very close. Just a little bit more straighter. That's the last time we've seen a set, and we've been watching some cricket for a long time. The on-drive is the hardest shot to play.
Yes.
And you can imagine you're straight driving a fast bowler. You've got to really get into position nicely.
Good use of the wrist.
And
good
the hips
sense
too.
in the blind spot. Precisely.
Wide again. Lucky to get away with that.
Loose fielding.
And Kevin Wickham, got to be tighter than that. Gave away a single there. That's really not a single. You have to stop those balls. Young is not impressed. He stood there for at least a good 40 seconds. And these are the moments that can change the game. You've got to be able to keep the pressure up. Now he has to go and bowl to Murray Cummins, 21 without loss. Dhoni, 11. Cummins, 10. A lot going through this young man's mind. Naim Young. Great potential. Down the onside, badly line delivery, a boundary, off target, and he lost his focus there.
Yes. Young not really up to the mark. Over the wicket, down the leg side. And he just had to tickle it, just had to work it off the hips, off the pads. And I think not the start that the West Indies Academy expected at Sir Viv. At this stage, they were just about 12 runs, and an over later they would have lost 2 wickets, 15 for 2.
25 without loss.
Away.
Sorry, set. Again, tucking him up and he's just working this into the deep backward square leg area. Lane coming around there, but it's Kevin Wickham who fires a return back to the keeper, Julian. The end of over number 4, and at the end of it, the Ireland Academy who were inserted by the West Indies, they're 26 without loss. Downey is 11, and Murray Cummins with an O is 15.
Good batting, good solid start by this pair. They would have been inspired by their match-winning, the team's performance in the opening game. Murray Cummins, he looks as though he's going to be the man again, maybe batting to bat as deep as he can. But also we have seen Stephen looking good, looking to punch on occasions. They have not given any chances. They have not been playing loose shots. They have been playing the balls so far on the merit. No sense of anxiety, no sense of discomfort.
A little bit of sloppiness taking place there. A ball was stroked to Kevin Wickham, and he just threw the ball 5 meters wide of the captain. Didn't even look at the captain. Didn't even say, well, listen, let me just lob the ball up. And I'm sure doesn't look good at all. Let's hope that they can get their act together very quickly.
Key moments. The fielding is important. Ask Australia, how can fielding transform a team's fortune? You got to show it with every ball. So Viv Richards himself told you he had a miserable time, 75 in the final with the bat. But he did it in the field, 3 1-outs.
Got to be motivated. Full toss.
You listen to Sir Viv and he says, what I did, I attacked the ball. He attacks the ball. How many fielders are you seeing attacking the ball? So oftentimes you have to go back into memory bank to remember the Jonty Rose, the Herschel Gibbs, the Keith Arterton, the Roger Harper attacking the ball. And that casualness. So then you just look in the Australian setup and you'd find the David Warners and the Maxwell, and then you'd look at a few other teams. If you want to look at the Caribbean, you may say yes, Hayden Walt Jr. and Fabian Allen, and you'd call the likes. But that sort of impetus in the field that gave the West Indies that cutting edge, I think somehow it has become like it's liming time, it's relaxing time, Vernon. We got to get it right there, and that could inspire.
Cummins getting a delivery more or less down the onside. Rushed his pad, led by Signal. So he remains on 15. Dhoni comes in to strike. He's on 11 as he on lane. 2 slips go down. Bishop and Wickham on drive. Can't beat the West Indies Emerging Academy captain Naeem Young. Beautiful balance. Well played. Good cricket all around. 27 without loss. Went to over number 5. And so far, high proportion of boundaries. Some 5 boundaries have been hit so far in this innings. Something that the West Indies Emerging Academy will have to improve on. Good leave. Touchdown into the right area. End of over number 5. And the score is 27 without loss. Just a lone leg by coming out of that over.
So better approach here. We're seeing Yuan Lane perhaps searching deep and deciding that he wants to be more defensive. Being defensive is important at times because you have to stem the flow of runs, and that's what he did in this over to make the difference. But we're going to see Naeem Young continuing the attack from the sudden end, and if there is no key adjustment to the field. It simply means that he himself would have to tighten his line.
Well, compared to the first game where Ireland were 15 for 2, this is really a very comprehensive start here by Ireland, 27 without loss, and simply because the West Indies have just gifted them 5 deliveries. So they have to more or less come on target. Young is starting with just one slip. The slip in Bishop was pretty wide to me. Bang on target. I just feel, Seth, that if you're at first slip, you're at first slip. You can't be in between. You know, and that's something which I find that it's a gamble that we're taking. You know, next thing the ball goes between the actual first slip. Young is making some changes now, not only to his field, but he's now put the fine leg back, brought the third man up, and he's coming around the wicket. And the first slip, the second slip is not moved, and I would have thought that he would have maybe made that adjustment. So he's maybe bowling more or less to a 5-4 feel in the context. He's coming around the wicket to Cummins. Ooh. Fall shot by Cummins, played on the onside. Sort of went a little bit too early. What's happening? 27 without loss. Got to get some energy. West Indies Academy, they started with a lot of energy in the first game at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. They got to believe something spectacular has to happen. They're chirping in. Bouncing once again in front of Teddy Bishop. And that's why I was sort of kind of talking about. Young just looks a little bit frustrated. Maybe thought, let's look at that one set and see what happened.
I believe he thought that Bishop could have been paying more attention to that and could have even gotten a step forward. Yes, you're in first slip, but
which would have
precisely. And it's not even a situation of a dive, because Young is not a quicker bowler like even Lane, that it's rushing and you're waiting. But you got to see it looping, and you got to even make some adjustment. And Young has the right to be upset.
Got to stay low. Got to stay low. You got to get down low. Got to get down low. I just think that Teddy Bishop is a tall guy, and the center of gravity just needs to be a little bit more wider.
It's not about height, I think. I think it's about the state of mind. You got to be on the edge and really want it, as we say in the field. That casual wait-and-see approach. It's best you lunge forward. If you drop it, good effort. But you can't be waiting on it to bounce in front of you. It's not coming at any brisk pace. That it's just a matter of reaction, presence of mind.
Again, Young. Is he at first slip or second slip? Seems to be at second slip. Here's Young. Delivery being worked away by Dhoni into the mid-wicket area. Good piece of work there by Allen, coming in to prevent the second run in the process. The score in the meantime goes up to 29 without loss. Cummins goes to 16. Dhoni, 12. So good morning to my colleagues, Joel Manning, Marley Richards, Terry Laraja. I'm not betting anybody today. I didn't work with any Vitamalt or sugar cakes.
What kind of sugar cakes, Vernon?
Some sort. 29 without loss. Young, round the wicket. He's bowled him. He played around a beauty. Poor shot there from Murray Cummins. And undone. The century maker in the first game is bowled. He just lost his concentration, Murray Cummins. Right foot didn't come out to the pitch of the ball and lost his off stump.
Now,
first
excellent
wicket.
bowling on the part of Young. What he did, he made an adjustment as well. Was coming over the wicket. This time, changing the angle, starting from around, angling the ball in towards the leg stump. He thought he had it covered. Excellent bowling on the part of Naeem Young. And the Irish, they have lost their first wicket. And it is the key man, the man who really did much of the damage in the first game. And in comes Carmichael. So Vernon is going to beat us an early break, and Joel is going to stop by. But it has been really a good was a good start prior to that wicket for the Irish. Naeem Young, the captain, now leading by example. Didn't have the best of starts, but now he has recovered well and has given a good response to the task before. He started the over with what could have been a catch and slip. It didn't materialize, but he kept focus and in the end having good result for the West Indies Academy. Good morning, Joel Manning.
Morning, Seth. Good morning to everybody out there watching around the world. Certainly another fantastic day of cricket here on hand between the West Indies Academy and emerging Ireland. A much needed breakthrough for the West Indies Academy, and it was due to, I would say, consistency. A bit more consistency from the skipper, Naeem Young, and they'll hope that they can continue to do that. With the ball in the hand now of Johan Lane. Certainly conditions that the batters will enjoy a lot more here. The Coolidge Cricket Ground, the ball is coming on to the bat quite nicely. There's more consistency in terms of the pace and the bounce as well, and probably a little closer to the conditions that the Irish lads would be accustomed to as well.
You're hearing the chirping coming through in a more pronounced manner.
Leaned into it quite nicely there. And they're able to come back for 3. Good running by this pair. Doheny, the captain, didn't get as much as he hoped for in that first encounter. Looks quite better here today.
Yes. He's picking the gap well. Flowing, played a few flowing drives. Looks as though he wants to stay. You've looked at the changes, Joel. You can comment on them from the Cricket Academy standpoint. Ashmead Ned, one of the youngsters who is in. McKenny also coming in. McKenny Clark. So at least 2 of those giving other bowling options. Good fielding in the end. Jordan, one of the players coming into today's team, really moving forward briskly to his right. That one really came off. Was well flicked, I thought. And Irish players conferring.
Yeah, those changes for the West Indies Academy. I expected to see changes across both sides simply because of the nature of this series.
And they're not necessarily performance forced.
Definitely not. I don't think that is the case. Obviously, there's some guys who performed much better than others in game number 1. But in terms of a developmental series like this, you certainly want to give players the opportunity. Does it make sense bringing players across to here in Antigua and having them sit down for the entirety of the series? The coach to come across, and Pete Johnston would have mentioned that to me as well, that they'll be looking to get a lot of rotation in the Irish side as well. So I do expect across all of the matches here to see players being chopped and changed, and I certainly do expect or hope that they would understand that it's nothing against them, but it's certainly just a case of exposing as many players as possible across what will be these one-day matches and then into the 4-day games that we played here in Antigua as well.
Earlier, Vernon was speaking about the itinerary.
A lovely way to get him off of the Marcade Carmichael. Obviously would have preferred a boundary, but a sweet sound out of the middle to end off 7 overs. It's 33 for 1.
Lane pulling back his length. We saw that after his second over, pulling back the length, being a bit more defensive on that occasion. Perhaps the opportunity for someone else perhaps to come in from that end, or perhaps Young may be thinking to keep himself on along with Lane for that first power play. But just to go back in terms of the itinerary, one match at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds, one match here today, then back at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds on Tuesday. The thought could have been all three could have been right at Sir Viv, and then the 4-day matches here from a logistical standpoint, also from the players, standpoint. But those are just some of the thoughts.
Well, Naeem Young started to find his rhythm, his lines and lengths in that previous over. And he's there and thereabouts. Again, a lot straighter he is here. And now in what would be his 4th over. And this is what you want to see. I mentioned the fact that conditions are a lot better for batting, and the Irish lads certainly took advantage of them. A couple of wayward deliveries as well from the West Indies Academy, not helped by some of the fielding. But you're starting to see now the adjustments being made by the seamers in terms of finding the correct lines and lengths here on this surface. Challenging the batters just a bit more as well.
Better length we're seeing here from the West Indies Academy captain. Marley Richards was making the point on Friday regarding down the leg side, bowled. In fact, it looked down the leg side because he was walking a course, and he did that rather early. Exposed his stumps and exposed his vulnerability. What a thing.
Well, Naeem Young definitely on target there. Seeing the quick adjustment by Cade Carmichael, looking to work it down towards that vacant fine leg area, but losing his leg stump instead. He goes for just one. It's now 33 for 2.
So Naeem Young coming back well. In the previous over, he had the wicket of Murray, and now he is smiling. He has Carmichael back in the pavilion as well. He has gotten 2 dismissals, and both were bowled. We saw the leg stump of Murray being cartwheeled, and now on this occasion we are seeing Carmichael. Look at that, right across the stumps. Good thinking on the part of Young. He did not change or go towards off, but he saw the stumps, went after it. It was not a pace-off delivery. He was going straight at the stumps. And the Irish emerging players, they have lost 2 in quick succession, and 33 for 2. Young would think that he can keep bowling and keep bowling.
Well, the new batter for emerging Ireland is Morgan Topping. He's in this game here. Didn't play in game number 1, in now for game number 2. One of the changes, one of 3 changes that emerging Ireland made. Those 3 changes being Liam McCarthy in, Morgan Topping and Michael Frost. And out, Adam Rossley, Matt Humphreys and Tom Mays. Gets a good one to start from Naeem Young. And I mentioned the fact that once again, he's really shown that improvement, that adjustment from what would have been the first 2 overs that he bowled. Quite a stark contrast between the first 2 and the latter 2 here now into his 4th, Naeem Young.
Therefore, seems as though Stephen Deherney will have to play a similar type innings that Murray Cummins did in the first game.
Yeah, certainly traveled a long way, and Doheny would want to make sure that he scores some runs here in the Caribbean. One of the more experienced players in this emerging Ireland side, Stephen Doheny.
One of the things that the Irish would have to look at is the pattern that we're seeing as early as this series is losing wickets. First game, 15 for 1, 15 for 2. Then 37 for 3, 37 for 4. And what we're seeing here is almost a reflection. So there needs to be that player playing that holding end and avoid those stutters so that they can have good partnerships. 33 for 2 after 8, and Terry Liraji will join Joel.
There's going to be the first change of bowling for the morning. First signs of spin here for the West Indies Academy. It's going to be Joshua Bishop, the chief destroyer in game number 1 across Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Much different conditions from here. Was grip and turn on offer for him. What will this surface here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground offer him? He picked up 4 in that one. He'll be hoping he can go 4+1 here today, 5. But what will the story be? Still in the power play, just 8 overs bowled. The one thing that we saw from him was variation in pace at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. You would have to say probably about 70% or 80% of the deliveries were much slower from Bishop. A loud appeal. Not out, says the umpire. They scamper 1. Signal no leg buys. But he started in similar fashion here. That's how he started in Sir Viv, just allowing that ball to just float, as it would say, in the air. And that actually looks extremely close, hitting the back pad
Good day,
of Doheny.
Extremely close. I think that was just about out, but a great first up delivery there by Bishop. Good to see Captain Naeem Young leading a fight back here for the West Indies Academy boys. Started off a bit loose this morning in the field, and a few gifts being tossed up.
Take it back one time. Take it back one time. Go here, boys. Go here, boys. Go here, boys.
Joshua Bishop here started very well.
Certainly started well indeed. My mind still goes back to that very, very close LBW shout. Ball onto the back pad of Doheny. Umpire Blades, though, had a better view than us, so he'll say, hey. He saw something a little different.
True. I think he may have thought it was going over the top.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Uppish and taken. So Bishop strikes again in his first over here, and the 3rd wicket down for emerging Ireland.
Yes, well bowled once again by Bishop. As I say, he started down very well. That one tossed up too close to cut, really, trying to force it off the back foot. And all he did was spoon it straight to extra cover. 3rd one down for Ireland, emerging. And after a strong start where they looked like they were going to run away with a rather big score, lost the century maker from the first innings, Murray Cummins, and lost 3 for, what's that, Joel? 3 for 8, I think. So excellent fight back here by young West Indies Academy boys, instigated by their captain, Naeem Young.
Yeah, indeed, the skipper led from the front and really rallied his troops after what was somewhat a very slow start from the West Indies Academy boys.
New bowler, right hand over.
34 for 3 they are now. And a new bowler in McKenny Clark, who's come in for Kelvin Pittman in this game. Tall, right arm, fast bowler he is. Hailing from the Helen of the West Indies, St. Lucia, McKenny Clark. And he starts on the money as well. I was definitely going to be interested in the top 5 for both sides here today. Top 5 for Ireland in game number 1 fell away to the stage that they found themselves at 39 for 5, currently 34 for 3. They are now. And for the West Indies, it was somewhat different in the sense that they got off to a much better start, but then the top 5 still failed in a way for them, find themselves at 145 for 5. The reason why I say failed is because of how quickly those wickets fell for the West Indies Academy. So they were at 57 for 1 after 9, found themselves at 117 for 2, 124 for 3, 132 for 4, 145 for 5. So it was a case of wickets falling at regular intervals for them, and the same thing for Ireland, whereby emerging Ireland had to find a way to rebuild. West Indies Academy had to do something similar. So I'm going to keep my eyes across the top 5 across these one-day matches for them and see if there are any differences in the patterns for them.
Yeah, it's a big collapse in that first match of 5 for 30 odd, I believe. Didn't help after a good start, really. 58 for the first wicket, and again 58-59 for the second. Then fell away in the middle overs and ended up 26 runs short. But they definitely got much more of a pep in their step now. After picking up these 3 wickets, you can hear the chat amongst them.
Yeah, wickets will always bring joy. Oh, there are much cooler conditions here today as well in comparison to game number 1 at the Vivian Richards Stadium. It's like breeze, no real heavy sunshine out here. So good bowling conditions for them, but also, as I mentioned before, good batting conditions as well. And you would want to, as emerging Ireland, make good use of these conditions. A bit of bounce on that occasion, taking the splice of the bat of Stephen Doheny.
They extracted a good bounce there, did Clark.
Yeah, a lot of his height. You certainly expect that.
Yep.
Hitting the deck quite, well, I wouldn't even say hitting the deck quite hard, but he's being assisted by the surface, and that ball prompting a change now in the field. Second slip goes into play. Kevin Wickham, in fact, might be actually going to somewhat of a gully position. Tim Tector, and now to face his first delivery. Didn't get much in game number 1. Sharp lifting delivery into the body. So a bit of movement as well off of the seam for Clark. End of the first power play. It's 35 for 3.
Yeah, good bounce, good movement there by McKenny Clark. Keeping both batsmen honest, on their toes. Ireland emerging to rebuild this innings after a decent start. You pegged back with 3 quick wickets. Joshua Bishop will continue from the northern end. Of course, they should be very used to these conditions, though, Joel, being well, really their home ground, where they spend most of their time here at Coolidge Cricket Ground, home of Cricket West Indies.
Just continue to allow that ball to hang in the air, Joshua Bishop. Probably can't afford to get too wide on that off stump.
Ooh.
Right,
Yes,
right there
Bish.
is where he
Yes,
needs to
Bish.
keep it.
Ball in, Bish. Ball in, Bish. Ball in, Bish. Hey, catch it!
Oi.
Woo!
Falling just short.
Yes.
So enjoying the
I love
conditions
it,
here
I
as
love
well.
it, I love it. I love it.
At the Coolidge Cricket Ground, Joshua Bishop. So another test on the hand for emerging Ireland. And they certainly wouldn't want to allow Bishop to find his way through their batting lineup again.
Ooh. Ball in, Bish. Ball in, Bish. Ball in, Bish.
Into a fantastic
Nice it,
spell quite
Bishy,
early
nice it,
is
Bishy.
Bishop.
I love it, yeah, boy. I love it, yeah, boy.
Just taking
Nice
the outer
it,
edge
Bish,
of the
nice
bat on
it.
that
I love
occasion,
how you
that
yeah,
previous
Bish.
delivery.
I believe a suit gonna come out
But
here
soft
now.
hands allowing it to fall short of slip. Uses the feet.
Keeper Yogi.
That tactic to somewhat counteract the lengths that Bishop is bowling at the moment. Something that we saw from Murray Cummins in game number 1. Cummins, though, would have utilised the reverse sweep very often to Bishop. Dohoney opting to use his feet.
Yeah, most definitely, because he's getting stuck on the crease there.
Tossed up a bit more. Falling quite short of Aline. The end of 11. It's 37 for 3.
Another good tidy over that by Joshua Bishop. He had Doheny stuck on the crease, playing off the back foot, which is always dangerous. But good use of the feet just to get himself going again.
Yeah, spin proved to be quite a problem for both sides in game number 1. Obviously, the conditions certainly helped as well. The bite, the grip, the turn on offer. Just at Vivian Richards Stadium. Also, the pace of the surface. Six wickets fell to spin in that game. No 1 for emerging Ireland. 4 to Joshua Bishop and 2 to the off spin of Kevin Wickham. Eight wickets fell to spin in the innings of the West Indies Academy.
Right.
The short lifting delivery, quite close on the body as well. Tector didn't get off the mark in that game number 1. Probably got a very harsh call, you might have to say, that LBW decision for him in game number 1. But certainly a young man that emerging Ireland have identified as a future talent for them. Came down to the Caribbean as a captain of the under-19 team in the World Cup that was played here in 2022. He's one that you can see has come through the system for them. A couple other lads here as well have come through the system.
Kenny, looking at his run-up with that bounce and hop, like a high jumper, huh? Wonder if he ever did that before he took up cricket. Got a build for it anyway.
Still unable to get off the mark. It is good pressure by the West Indies Academy. And you just wonder if it is going to force Tim Tector to do something just out of the ordinary to try to find himself off the mark. You would hope not. But this is the type of challenge that you want to see here at this level. Bowlers sticking to their marks. Batters finding a way to craft and graft runs. Takes the glove And
out.
that is out. So Tim Tector, he's got to go. Another duck for him. And success for McKenny Clark.
And he deserved that, Clark. He'd been spot on this morning. And that one, short delivery. Didn't know whether to hook it or pull out of the shot, I think. In the end, did nothing. Took the glove and a simple catch.
You would have to say that that is his reward
Definitely.
for bowling well, McKenny Clark. A little fortunate in terms of the type of delivery that he was able to pick up the wicket with, though. Getting through the shot a little too early there was Tim Tector. And just taking that glove on the way through. Probably just a bit slower in terms of the pace on it. And you see the bewilderment of him there because he's telling himself that is one that they could have helped down towards. Fine leg maybe taking a comfortable one, might have challenged fine leg for 4 instead. He's got to take that long walk back. 37 for 4 they are now, and it's time for drinks.
For the surprise factor there. And he certainly reaped rewards. Did surprise Tector, was anxious to get off the mark, faced 6 or 7 deliveries, but failed to do so. So, after a promising start, Ireland emerging are in some trouble. I say a very good day to Marley Richards.
Good morning, Terry. Good morning to all the listeners, watchers, wherever they may be. Interesting start once again. Ireland up against it. It was Johan Lane with the double strike in match 1, followed up by Joshua Bishop. But today it's been Naeem Young and McKenny Clark. Really setting the Irish top order back, and without the experienced Cummins. Sorry, I keep saying Miguel. Murray Cummins, my bad. Without him at the crease, it'll be tough sledding, I think, going forward in this Irish inning.
Yes, most definitely. He was the one that held everything together. And
alongside a Tom Mays, who's not playing today as well.
Right. But I'm impressed you did well to remember Miguel Cummins.
Yeah. That's a good point. I remember names very well. I'll say that. Just a bit of extra pace now, I think, from McKenny Clark. Maybe just that first over was just warming up into his work.
Yeah, he's definitely hit a good line and length.
Can be quite pacey on his day, quite skiddy type bowler.
Well, he's got all the attributes, hasn't he, for a fast
he does.
bowler?
He's been we've seen him now for probably what,
12
months,
18
a year,
months
18 months or so, yeah.
He looks an athlete.
He definitely does. He's good in the field as well. That's the end of that Clark over, 37 for 4. Had a little experience in the CPL this year as well, Kenny Clark.
All these things add up, though, man.
They do.
You know?
I mean it's valuable experience. Just like this tour, it's a developmental tour. Obviously, you want to win games. You want to practice the habit of winning.
Right.
But also, got to take into account that these guys are still very young, still learning their way, and it's going to take a bit of time.
Spot on, though, Joshua Bishop so far today.
Definitely. It was Joel that was mentioning. He started so well in game 1. Was put under a bit of pressure by Murray Cummins, especially with that reverse sweep. Seemed to just knock him off his length slightly. Had a few bad overs in the middle, but came back very well at the end. That's where you want to see young players and how they respond to pressure. You know, it's pretty easy bowling on quite a conducive wicket for spin.
True. But it's good to see Doheny starting to come forward more and starting to use his feet. He's getting stuck on the crease there a lot and letting Bishop dictate to him.
Maybe just choosing the wrong ones in which to advance.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still there, 19 now. McBeth gets off strike right away. Only managed one in that first game. Was bowled by Joshua Bishop. So up against his nemesis here early once again.
And they definitely need a partnership island emerging.
Joe reminds me playing that same stroke. Almost playing around that front pad.
Yeah, that's squirted out towards cover. But they've lost 4 for 8. Island emerging.
Yeah, pretty similar to match one, Terry.
Another good tidy over there by Joshua Bishop. 39 for 4 after 13. And Bishop 3 overs, 1 for 4.
It was, I think, the 8th wicket and 9th wicket partnerships that really did the bulk of the scoring for the Irish.
Yes,
Game
right.
1.
I
Obviously,
saw that, yeah.
Cummins batted through for that 100.
Yeah.
I think they hit, some 140 odd runs or so for the 8th and 9th wicket. 9th wicket partnership between Mays and Cummins was 103. Definitely going to need a lot more of that as we see young Jordan Johnson do the fielding there. The young man. I'm sure you guys would have spoken about his exploits.
Yeah, in Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka on the Rising Stars Under-19 tour earlier this year. Those 300s really announced himself to the West Indian public. I'm sure the Sri Lankan public as well. I'm sure. They're keen fans of the game over on that side as well. That was easy, wasn't it? A bit of a nothing delivery from McKenny Clark there.
Yeah, and it come off rather slow
Slow
too.
as well.
Yeah.
In the end, well played, I think. Batter really had to adjust for the lack of pace.
Yeah, just made sure he'd pass the mid-wicket there.
Made good contact, not quite out the middle. This is going to be close. He actually gets in quite comfortably. Well run.
Talking about Sri Lankan cricket, though, the government fired the board.
Yeah, and the
And
ICC.
then the ICC.
Yeah, it's all kicked off in Sri Lanka. I always find that strange though. Like a team gets bowled out for 50 in the World Cup, and then they fire the board.
Yeah. Why don't you fire the
board
11 that play?
Yeah, like I mean, at least wait and then have an inquest and like. But you don't do that during a tournament, do you?
No.
I guess it's not just us, eh?
This is the second time where they got bowled out for 50 in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, I mean, you see it as well, even with Pakistani cricket. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many talented players, but it just seems like the administration and the government just can't get out the way.
No. Obama got the flick.
Yeah, I mean,
Said he stood down. He said, no, we relieved you.
think back to 12, 18 months ago and just how bright things are looking for Pakistani
Right.
cricket. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
all changed so quickly. Once again, not just us.
Swell ball. Good forward defence, though. Up to the task was McBeth. Bet you the Irish boys are enjoying this, though, rather than being in Dublin
Yeah,
at the
definitely.
moment.
Yeah, but I think they'll be praying for a bit more sun.
Right, yeah.
They want to go back and show off
Bit of
a
a
few
tan.
tans. Yeah. People are like, where have you been?
Over.
Another steady over from Clark. 14 gun. Ireland 43 for 4.
Yeah, and Clark 3 overs at 1 for 5. He has bowled a very steady line and length as well, he was saying.
He has. He's just struggled for injury slightly in the past 6 to 8 months as well. Maybe hasn't been as available as he'd like. I think he played just 3 matches in the regional Super 50 just concluded. Picked up 2 wickets.
Go here, boys. Go here, boys. Right.
Just to talk about this pitch,
Dice it.
we've grown accustomed to seeing it now take spin, Terry. It didn't always start. It didn't start that way. When this ground
it was
was
a batting track,
yeah,
wasn't it?
and it used to be have a bit of pace. Used to be pretty reminiscent of a old school Kensington oval pitch or a pitch in Anguilla, which with a bit of a sheen on it. He advances in the gap this time. Good timing, very good shot there. So Doheny now just warming to the task, as he said, Terry, just looking a bit better against Joshua Bishop.
Yeah, I think he's just getting his confidence. And that was very well played.
I think the beauty about that shot, he didn't try to overhit, did he?
No.
Head
Not
was
at
in
all.
a good position.
Coy, that was tossed out.
And that's what I'm saying, like, at times, you'd think maybe he'll advance to those deliveries that are just slightly higher above that eye line. But chooses not to. Picks up another single. They just need a partnership here. Lost wickets at regular intervals. The Irish.
Definitely. And Doheny's set now, 27 from off 43.
At the same time, they can't afford to get stuck, though.
No. they
Still got to
need
find a way to
kick it
rotate
over.
strike. Yep.
Yep.
At times, I don't know if you were watching this morning, KL Rahul in the World Cup final just seemed to get stuck a little bit. In the
Okay.
end, got to 60 odd.
Boy. That turn was a bit short, but turned though. So end of 15 overs, 48 for 4. Ireland emerging after being sent in by West Indies Academy.
And if for some reason you're actually here with us and not tuning into the World Cup final, India 240, bowled out for 240. Australia 91 for 3
Oh,
in that chase.
game on.
Game on, indeed. Let's hope it's a real cracker of a final. It comes down to the...
Right hand over.
But that's the best thing for the game.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing worse when was it
an anticlimactic
the
walkover.
Yeah, was it the last one or the one before where Australia flogged New Zealand?
Oh, that's a good catch.
Catch.
Brilliant catch at point. Looks like Joshua Bishop.
Excellent catch.
Low down.
And that was the one they wanted.
That-
Doheny.
Yeah, it was hit quite well as well.
Yeah, he just didn't get on top of the bounce. Couldn't keep it down enough.
Bit of a length delivery. It was there.
It was there for the taking.
Not
Yeah.
quite executed how you would like. So yet another wicket goes down. Pace doing the job here today. McKenny Clark picking up his second.
Excellent catch.
It's actually, oh yeah,
half the
Doheny.
team back in the shed
Shed already.
without 50 on the board.
Looks like the new batter is going to be Gavin Hoy.
Alim.
It was when he came to the crease, as we see that catch again, low down at point. Josh Bishop doing the job there. It was when number 21 Hoy came to the crease alongside Cummins where they started to rebuild the Irish Academy innings.
Got a bit of momentum going.
It did. And he looked quite an enterprising player. Not afraid to play shots, ran well between the wickets, employed the reverse sweep. Let's see how he gets on here today. Up against a McKenny Clark who is just rounding into form quite nicely.
Yeah, he's bowling very well.
On the money once again. Seems to be bowling well within himself.
Yeah, just concentrating on that
Good line and
off-stop
length.
line. Yeah.
I'm excited to see young Jordan Johnson though. Later on, hopefully. Kadeem Allen, really explosive at the top.
Right. Because he had a couple of scores in
Yeah, he
the
did.
Super 50, didn't he?
Oh, that's a shot.
Man.
There we go. There's Hoey.
Second ball, and he cracked it through covers.
Showing that intent, reminiscent of a Richie Richardson, that cut there. Look at that.
Yeah, threw everything at it.
Good footwork as well, using the crease, getting back and across. Poor delivery from Clark, but very good shot from Hoy.
But you made a good point there, Mali, his footwork, because I don't think Dehaney moved his feet enough to get over the top of it to a similar delivery that was caught. Boy.
Goes for it again. Seems to like width.
He doesn't mess around, eh? He only faced 3 balls. He's gone after every one of them.
Yeah. He was dismissed in a similar fashion off the spinner in game 1. Actually, I thought went back to a ball he should have played forward to. But you can tell he loves playing off that back foot. Ended up being poached at slip. Based on what I've seen from him so far, he's a guy that's going to play his shots regardless. Looks to be a real talent though.
Well read.
Based on what we've seen from a few of the other batters so far. Not sure why he comes in at number 7, but just the way he shapes up. He's got a good positive disposition about him.
Yeah, he looks nice and relaxed at the crease.
As we said, got 25 of 31 in match 1.
Couple of bounces there. Oh, that was a late call. Called wide for height.
Gavin Howie. Right-hander.
Second for the over. Over.
Well bowled, well played to finish that over by McKenny Clark. So after 16 overs, Ireland emerging 53-4-5. Welcome back, Seth Burton.
Good morning, Terry. On the outside, it is pretty warm. The players are enjoying the warmth.
Yes, and we're
But
sitting
on the
in
inside,
an ice box.
I see you, the Aussie. You
got-
have on your coat and you're still rubbing the hands. What's going on, Terry?
13 shirts on, and I'm still freezing.
It's amazing here in the Caribbean. You have the warmest weather, but sometimes you come into the coolest AC. But it's still good here. The West Indies Academy enjoying the better of play. Oh, yes.
Almost another one.
Teddy Bishop leapt to the right at his second slip position, couldn't hold that. But Joshua Bishop, though he has not, though he did not really lead the way as he did at the Seviv, he's bowling well. The Pacers have been the one, but he himself is having a decent spell here. Only one to his name, 1 for 11 from, but he's in his 5th over.
Yeah, no, he's bowled very well.
Yeah, it has been McKinney Clark and
That's
4 runs.
one way and negates in here.
Yes, I think we were
Right
just
across.
speaking how well he has bowled and in fact served up what ended to be a full toss.
On leg
Just
stump.
about leg, and it was dash for 4 by Scott McBeth. But he has bowled well. As we mentioned, the wicket takers would have been 9 young with his first 2. And then McKinney Clark with 2 after Joshua Bishop having 1. But he has bowled well throughout. And you see that again. Has quite some potential.
Most definitely. He has excellent control. Turns the ball. And left armers, they're always dangerous.
And he enjoys his bowling. Believes that he can get a wicket off every delivery. You get that impression. Not one to give it away. Not one to be loose. He's an attacking leg, left arm, orthodox bowler. Oh, even the reverse sweep did not work against him. Completing a good over apart from that one, which was served up on the pads.
Yes, McBeth played that over rather interesting. The 4 he swept to the boundary, come right across his stumps onto the offside, met it on a full. That one, he thought about the reverse sweep, but the bounce did him.
Well, Terry, if we're reflecting on the 2 matches, as we say we want to measure progress, the Irish would think we have batted first on 2
Both
occasions
times.
and no improvement. Right? They stuttered in the first game, 15 for 2. 2 wickets on 15, 2 wickets on 37, almost similar here. They were 37 for 4 again, and then now they're 59 for 5.
Well fielded again.
So the question they would ask themselves, what is happening in the top order and the middle order,
Yes.
where it matters? They found themselves, 70 odd for 6 before a rescue mission. So how far would they get?
He could quite very well be 70 odd for 6 again today.
Well, they get a fortuitous 4. That one was angling into the right-hander. He was looking to play it through the mid-on region, and the ball took the inside edge and went down to fine leg for 4. They get into the 60s.
The old French Cup.
Certainly. You would be happy with that. Perhaps you could say it's an Irish cut.
Well, I was going to say, why do they call it or still call it the French Cup?
I don't know. Why do we call it?
France is about one of the very few countries that don't play cricket still.
That's right. Why do we call it cow corner? And you more
There we
see
go.
a dog or a sheep
don't
on
start
the play
Vernon.
field. You don't see
Do
a cow.
not start Vernon on that. We'll be here for the rest of the day.
Oh, 4
good shot.
runs. 4 runs. Classy knock.
Sat up outside the off stump and cracked through the covers very nicely.
First one was fortuitous. This one was deliberate and played with authority on the back foot and smashed it past the diving Jordan at cover.
Score goes up to 67 for 5. Doesn't matter how they get them, they'll say. Runs are runs. 2 boundaries off the last 2 balls.
Good learning opportunity here for both teams. 3 players getting their opportunity. We see Junior Sinclair on the field, so I'm not quite sure if we have picked up. Clark likes to go at it short, has decent pace.
Yeah.
He likes to attack the batters with the short delivery. He got at least one of the wickets that way. But I think for one, we see some stuttering in his run-up. We would look at it as he comes in for the penultimate delivery of this is fifth over.
Yeah, it's an
Just
interesting
have a look at
run-up.
it and tell me. We looked at it earlier. He made some adjustments, but the question for me, they're coming back for the second. They've gotten it comfortably in the end. But the question for me, how does that impact the momentum you move towards the crease, the flow that pushes you beyond just what happens at the wicket? What happens with the arm? What happens with the movement? What happens with how hard you hit the deck? How does that run flow affects the
Well, I think
speed of the fast bowler?
I think the run-up in general is pretty smooth, but that jump there, is it to get him in gear, or what's it for? I don't see the purpose of it, and I'm thinking long-term, if he's playing first-class cricket, test match cricket, if he hopefully, one day, long spells, it'll take too much out of you.
That's right. So Terry will be leaving us just now. Joel Manning will come in, but it's almost the tail of Friday's tape. A replica of that tape. The difference is there is no Murray Cummins still at the crease. There is at least Gavin Hoy and Scott McBeth. And the difference is Joshua Bishop has only taken one. Johan Lane is yet to take a wicket. But it's the other Pacers who have really gotten the West Indies Academy into a good position. But question, Joel, for you is how critical it is for them to sustain that pressure now instead of allowing this partnership to settle.
A bit of innovation there on the part of McBeth. Certainly, it will be key for West Indies to maintain that pressure, something that we talked about in game number one, where they were on top, but a couple lapses in the field, allowing a couple singles here and there, a drop chance. The only chance that there was from Murray Cummins, allow him to get to that 100. Those moments where they didn't capitalize, they definitely want to make sure that they change that here today and make Emerging Ireland work for everything. A bit of a rebuilding in the works here for them now at 71 for 5. And they would want to ensure that this partnership takes them deep into the innings.
Joshua Bishop, quite a talent. He's a confident bowler. Don't see any, he doesn't give it away. Gets good grip. Well, when you looked at him at Saviv, you realize that he really had the batters guessing, and it has not changed, even though it's a different surface. May not be gripping as much as Saviv, but his line, his length, he has been consistent, no matter the condition, and this is what you look for in a player. How well can he adjust if the circumstance may not be as friendly according to his liking?
Best, I said best, I said best. Love for you any money best.
Wait, no.
And it brings us to the end of 1972 for 5.
For the Irish, it is critical that these two keep batting the score of 245 on Friday, at one stage it didn't look as though it was posing any challenge for the West Indies Academy. Do you think they will be looking to push beyond that progressively? I know they're in a spot of bother. They want to get out of this. Question is, would the West Indies also, the Academy, be comfortable
Right hand over.
chasing that much over 200 after their performance on Friday?
Well, a change of bowling here now. Johan Lane comes back into the attack. He got things started this morning for the West Indies Academy. Obviously, on both sides, they'll be looking to make improvements on what they did. So Ireland Academy, or Emerging Ireland, as they're known, will be hoping to get past that 245 mark. Obviously, two completely different surfaces as well. But I think even beyond the numbers aspect, a bit of a slip before setting off for this pair. And in fact,
Overthrow.
it's going to be 4 overthrows as well. You can understand, obviously, given the scenario and the situation, looking for the run out there, the backing up effort.
I don't think Lane is happy, neither is Nine Young, but you could understand the urgency on that occasion. The thought process, yes, go for it. He wasn't backed up as he would have liked with the very acrobatic Junior Sinclair in pursuit. A good test for Lane, though. He bowled his opening 4 overs from the northern end, and he would have been pushing, though he would have been coming down the hill, he would have been pushing with the breeze. On this occasion, he's coming up the hill, and I think this is the end from which the captain, Naim Young, had his 2 scalps, and also McKenny Clark getting his 2 scalps.
Yeah, that one hitting just a bit high on the bat, and then so he didn't race away towards the boundary. The partnership now moves into the 30s for this pair, and they'll be happy to see that. And this takes me back to my point I was making now in terms of the numbers aspect. I think that they'll be focusing even beyond just the possibility of what type of total, but more so focusing on, okay, what will our batters do differently in this scenario? Once again, they're faced with a test. Who are going to be those who will actually survive that test, stand up and bat based on what is happening out there? And I think that for them is the more important factor than the numbers. Similarly to the West Indies Academy, in the sense of they got off to a fantastic start in game number 1, had another partnership build before the second wicket fell, but from there things fell away. So for them, it's not necessarily a case of what total they're chasing, but how do they go about chasing that total? Can it be better in terms of the effort from the batters than in game number 1? And I think those are the areas, especially in these developmental matches, that they will be focusing on or should be focusing on.
The emerging island, it would also be who stand up on this occasion, because it had been primarily or principally the man Murray Cummins who batted through the innings to facilitate that score of 245, even though they did have some support towards the end and a bit in the middle. 2 different batters now having the opportunity.
Yeah, certainly I guess that's a good thing for them in the sense of they get a chance now to see somebody else put their hand up, or hopefully put their hand up. That one coming off of the edge, work for fine leg to do, and does well, just keeping it to 1.
I like to see this. That one rushed him a bit. Like to see the aggression from Johan Lane at this stage. 70, it's in fact 80 for 5 after 20. But I like the intent. He's coming after you, and he would have seen McKinney Clark from this same end challenging the batters, in fact getting his first wicket with a short delivery. And it's good to see Johan Lane having now the confidence to to go short.
Yeah, better 10 overs there for emerging Ireland. Just losing the 2 wickets in that phase. 2 wickets more than they probably would have wanted to lose, but 45 runs for those 2 wickets. After 10, they were 35 for 3. Now 80 for 5 they are, with a lot of time left in this encounter. And there's going to be some more spin this time from Ashmead Ned, brought in here now in game number 2. The young man from Guyana has been in and around quite a lot, has Ashmead Ned. Another player who's come through the ranks as it pertains to, from the under 13 levels straight up to here now. He has also featured across the Caribbean Premier League as well. So quite an experienced and quite a talented young man. He is Ned, getting his first game in this series now.
He has also had a lot of exposure, can't complain for that. And I think perhaps he would want to look at, he would want to model the approach of Bishop, who really held his, not just held his own, but stood out in the opening game and looks a picture so far.
Bowled him. Well, introduced into the attack, and Ned finds success early.
Really, I thought what had the better of Gavin Hoy. He was playing for the one, leaving him instead. Wow. Thought it was an arm ball, but the ball may have taken as well the bottom of the bat and cannoned into the stumps. Good way to start for the man from Guyana, Ashmead Ned. And it is the Irish really declining once again. Similar situation for the West Indies Academy. It would be interesting to see how they move on from here, because really there is no difference between what happened on Friday and what is happening now.
Yeah, certainly similar situations, but looking now at the bowlers on hand, you said that the possibility of Ashmead Ned modelling Joshua Bishop. In fact, 2 very different bowlers in terms of their approach to the game. Ned a lot flatter than Bishop, pushes through the delivery, and I think that was the undoing there of Gavin on that occasion, with Bishop holding back the ball, allowing that flight a bit slower through the air. Ned, however, pushing it through, reaching for that one, the angle of the ball coming back in, taking the inside edge, and well, 6 wickets down for them now. The new batter to the crease is Fionn Hand.
Emerging Ireland Academy as we continue here. 80 for 6. West Indies Academy will be looking to try to prize the pressure on, try and dismiss the Emerging Academy for at least under 150. First delivery to Hand is an appeal for a leg before, but the umpire says not out.
Yeah, striking him just outside of the off stump. You can hear a couple of the guys saying it there, but there again is Ashmead Ned, a lot quicker, a lot flatter.
Ned would have played for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Had a season with the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, so he's been around. He's improved on his fitness for sure. I say good morning to the folks in Ghana. His dad would be glued to look at his progress. Comes quietly forward. And sometimes I know they're contrasting both Young and Ned. Ned sometimes maybe can just take his time. Sometimes he just bustles through all the time. Variations are also very good. But he tends to attack the stumper a lot more. Decent maiden wicket over there for Ned, coming into the conversation very early o'clock at the end of 21. The Emerging Ireland Academy there, 80 for 6. A lot of football action, CONCACAF football action taking place around the region.
Hope y'all are enjoying the stream.
Yes, we are enjoying the stream. Kevin Wickham there, the one talking through the stump microphone. Quite an animated character he is. But yes, indeed, enjoying here in the Caribbean and all around the world this developmental series between Emerging Ireland and the West Indies Academy. Work to be done for Emerging Ireland. Middle and leg is the call for Fionn Hand. He's going to be facing up to Johan Lane.
Interesting period of play here. As Lane bungs away from the media center and driven in the gap, but in the air. Out to the sweeper on the offside. And he gets a comfortable run there. Scott McBeth. So some semblance here. They need a partnership from both Hand and McBeth. Lane not for 23. 81 for 6. Thought when the Irish came here this morning, they certainly didn't expect to be in that position. But if we follow, it's almost like a trend in terms of what happened at first game at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. They were 6 for 79. 7 for 111, 8 for 123. They'll be looking for a miracle here. And I just think Naeem Young just needs to go hard now. The Kadim Ali in deep backward square out there, just thought that he's wasted. They're going to brought him into the square leg area. Got to look to be able to try to wrap this game up. You want to put the pressure back on them. The West Indies are on top. 81 for 6. Going to send the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they certainly are on top, but conditions out there are still good for batting. And all it will take is what you consider to be that regular cricket here from Emerging Ireland. Back to the basics. Things like this, rotating the strike, that gets Hand off the mark. I think back to the absolutely stupendous catch that he took in game number 1. But he's going to need the heroics here with the bat. And I go back to saying once again, just that basic cricket. And they were able to do it in match number 1 and forge a partnership that was able to take them to that 245 mark. There's still quite a few overs left here as well. Having to reassess is what they'll need to do and then build that platform.
For Lane, I really would still like to see a slip in the conversation. Try to bowl a bumper, but umpire calling it a wide. But he kind of maybe just got a little bit aggravated in his approach. You want a fast bowler to be angry with himself. We have the West Indies under 19 team who are in Trinidad and Tobago. Rain has hampered their preparations. No play at all in that series against the Trinidad and Tobago under 23 team. Turned up to short mid-wicket. And Nandu coming around. The Rain has been playing cat and mouse game when we look in terms of what happened in Jamaica. A lot of the areas in Jamaica were hit by the weather over the last 48 hours. We're back with cricket action here, 82 for 6. The Emerging Ireland Academy team. Projected score doesn't look like they'll get anywhere close to 200, but anything is possible. It's just working this down into the fine leg area. And getting a easy single. Score in the meantime goes up to 83 for 6. If you just joined us, the West Indies Emerging Academy won the toss and inserted the Emerging Ireland Academy team. They have just lost wickets at regular intervals. Talking about some of the football results that we've been hearing around CONCACAF football region. Next to us there, Montserrat defeating the Dominican Republic 2-1 at home. Good result for those folks. Turned away down the onside. Getting another easy single. Last night at the Technical Center here in Antigua and Barbuda at the end of over number 22, 82. In fact, the score is 85 for 6. Our main scoreboard has gone off. And the Technical Center last evening in football action in Antigua and Barbuda. going down 3-2 to Puerto Rico. So that would have been a very tough result for them. Bonaire defeating Angola 3-0. Belize defeating French Guiana 1-0. Bermuda defeating St. Vincent and the Grenadines 3-1. And Nicaragua trashing Joel's hometown Barbados 4-0. So more action continuing still in the football, but we're back with the cricket action. Ned in the conversation. Flatter. Faster delivery. That's like a medium pacer here, Ned. A lot of chatter from Teddy Bishop and company. That one's got to have to be very, very, very careful. Because Ned tend to skid the ball on. If you're on hand, more or less trying to go leg side of the ball, it's going to have to be tight as possible. Because Ned is searching for those pads just below the knee roll. Automatically thinking about it. That one dragged down and sliced down into the boundary for 4. Quicker, faster. That went like a rocket. And most of these Irish batsmen, Joel, they tend to want to be inclined to play onto the back foot, looking to cut and pull.
Yeah, he really got into a good position there, did Fionn Han. It was really about that early adjustment, early movement that allowed him to play that particular stroke.
Score goes up to 89 for 6. Oh, that's a beauty. Took his time there and bowled that one. You could see that he didn't. And because this is gripping, the ball is turning here, so you can afford to make that adjustment and just take your time, give it enough. Think about it. You don't have to be pushing it through all the time.
That is it, Ned. Turn that door. Yes, Ned.
Beautiful delivery, bang on target.
I love it.
Hand coming quietly forward. Any room that Hand gets, he's going to certainly want to use those levers. He's a big, strong lad. This time he's watching the ball right onto the bat and just looking to open the face of the bat. Can't score. The end of over number 23. And the latest score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the home of Cricket West Indies, the emerging academy from Ireland. They're 89 for 6. Wickets to Young, Ned. It's just all happening here. McKenny Clark. And the skipper deciding to bring himself back, Joel.
Yeah, you like what you're seeing here in terms of Naeem Young bringing himself back. He's somebody who's going to hone in on those stumps. He's somebody who's going to just apply just a bit more pressure. And you talked about the fact of looking to ensure you continuously take wickets. This is a move to do just that here from Naeem Young. And there you see it. As I mentioned, he's going to be honing in on those stumps. Wicket to wicket usually is in Naeem Young. You probably will see him go with a few more pace on deliveries here in these middle phases in comparison to what he would bowl at the end of the innings. And this is here now where I think that a lot of the thinking has to happen for emerging Ireland and recognising what Naeem Young is coming back to do. Not allowing him to take the wicket here would be the ideal scenario for them.
Pose a wide delivery and caught McBeth in just his hands really went. He went off balance. Really never, there was no feet movement. Just fired his bat really. These two will have to consolidate. Still a lot of overs to go in this game. It's a 50-over game.
Yeah, certainly, and hence why I think back to you mentioning, the possibility of them not making it to 200. I'll get back to it after this.
It's back and cracking that out to the sweeper.
Yeah, but with simple cricket shots like this, they should get past that 200 mark very easy because of the time left in terms of overs, because of the quality out there still in terms of with bat in hand. Both Hand and McBeth are very capable batters. It should be a relatively easy task to find themselves past 200. All it will take is the type of cricket that the coaches expect of them.
West Indies got to be on the money at all times. A slow bumper. Took a long time to get to Fionn Hand. No sixes so far. No maximums in the game here. some 11 boundaries after in the first 5 overs they would have scored 5. So scoring becoming real tough today. New track, new surface. Looks a little brown. Comes quietly forward again. Jordan Johnson busy. Little cricketer. Mali says he's looking forward to see him. I'm looking forward to see Karim Allen too. I think he'll be a good investment for the West Indies. I like Allen. He's a big lad. Reminds me of a Phil Wallace. First time I think I saw Phil Wallace at the Antigua Recreation Ground. Big 100. Stands up straight and just defending that nicely. So for sure, Naim Young will mix up his deliveries there. 1 run coming out of that over, and at the end of over number 24, the Emerging Island Academy, they're 90 for 6, strolling along here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. The home of Cricket West Indies is ahead of us. We see a number of taxis hustling to get into position, as today will be another busy day at the VC Bird International Airport.
I love the pressure on both ends. I love the pressure on both ends. Not on both ends.
Teddy Bishop coming to our microphone.
Which end the run's going to come from now? Which end the run's going to come from now?
Saying he loves the pressure from
I
both
love this,
ends.
I love
He's
this.
wondering where the runs are going to come from for the Emerging Island Academy.
In fact, Leonardo Julian is the one chirping away.
Full toss driven down the ground. Getting an easy single. And as Joel said, they can afford to do that. Just play proper cricket shots. Score coast is up to 91 for 6. They've lost so many wickets that they really can't afford to take any more chances.
Yeah, it's simply going to have to be sensible, positive cricket for them, and what I would imagine in terms of the coaching staff expected of them. Heinrich Milan here with them alongside, or rather alongside him is Boyd Ranking.
The big Boyd. Oh,
Well, this should be an easy chance.
It
Jordan
is.
Johnson settles under it. And, well, Fionn Hand, his hand comes to an end. Another wicket for Ashmead Ned.
yeah, leaning edge there. And trying to get fancy and played right around the ball. He's upset with himself as he rehearses there. And the 7th wicket goes down for Ireland. Fionn Hand goes caught Jordan Johnson. And Ashmead Ned strikes very early. He's got 2 for 5.
He got himself into somewhat of a tangle there, did Fionn Hand. And with his departure, it also brings us a bit of a much-needed break here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground.
Please get middle now. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Coolidge Cricket Ground for this second ODI between West Indies Academy and Ireland Emerging. And Ireland Emerging in trouble in the 25th over, 91 for 7. Just haven't been able to build that partnership, Marley, that they so desperately need.
Definitely the new batter here, left-hander Liam McCarthy, comes in quite a perilous position, 91 for 7. As we said, regular Ireland have lost wickets regularly in both matches.
That's close. Very close.
Given.
Well, he thought long and hard, but that looked pretty adjacent.
Yeah, it did take him a bit of time, the umpire, but from our vantage point here, pitch in between wicket and wicket, I think the only thing that was missing was off and leg. He was nailing that middle stump.
Most definitely. Excellent bowling. Ashmead Ned picks up his third. Still in his third over. 3 for 5.
Yeah.
Left armour. Bowling
So,
very well.
quite a short stay at the crease for young McCarthy.
Yeah, he was out there.
This is the wicket, though, before the drinks break. It was Hand that had to go. Got himself in a bit of a tangle there, not sure what he wanted to do. In the end, lobbing an easy catch to Jordan Johnson. And Hand took a spectacular catch in match 1, running back over his shoulder off Kevin Wickham. Full extension, Superman extension dive. It's probably his biggest contribution so far in this series. Could be disappointed with the way he's got out there. He looks a strong, burly guy that can really find the boundaries. He hasn't yet managed to do so consistently for his team. But as we said, this is a developmental tour for both sides. The new batter, yet another left-handed Terry, Mike Frost, comes to the crease. He's been surrounded by West Indies Academy fielders out there. He's got Nandu in at leg slip. Is it Teddy Bishop at first slip?
No, is he keeping the legs slip or no?
I think they're just switching
Switching,
positions.
right.
Yeah. Lot of pressure here on Frost. He survives though. I think Joel was saying 200 possibly on the cards. It's a long way away from here now though. 91 for 8 after 25.
8 wickets down. 100 is a long way away. Only the 9 runs, but only 2 wickets left, and they've been losing wickets at regular intervals.
I think the wicket of Howie at the time in which they lost him as well, the way he was looking, I think the West Indies probably were a little bit too short to him. That's something you want to see these young players do, actually analyze and recognize the situation a bit quicker and work out, okay, this man, even though you wouldn't have too much footage prior, you do have to try and size up situations a lot quicker. It just seems like he's very strong on that back foot, was Howie. That's a good shot, though, from McBeth.
Yeah, hit
Oh,
just there.
some very sloppy stuff going on out there, though, at times from the West Indies Academy. We saw 5
Wickham
overthrows.
Yes. Wickham just seems to love to throw the ball anywhere.
He loves to be involved, doesn't he? Kevin Wickham.
It's Captain Naeem Young looking to close out this Ireland innings. That's nicely steered. Through backward point for a couple.
So it's all on McBeth now. It was on Murray Cummins in match 1. McBeth, he's faced 29 deliveries now, Terry. He's looking more assured as his innings progresses, but fast running out of partners. How does he go about this? Does he look to be ultra aggressive or just look to bad time?
Yeah, I think just need to farm the strike as much as possible to begin with and see if, well, in this case, Mike Frost can stay with him. That's a good bouncer there by Naeem Young. Did an interview with Naeem the other day just at the end of the Super 50, and he's saying that he feels like he's in a good headspace with his own game, but also as captain of this West Indies Academy. Now he's in his second year as captain. He believes he understands his players a lot better. Again short, dragged up to mid-on. Take a quick single.
And to be honest, in game 1 of this series, the West Indies Academy just looked a little tired, a little jaded. Naeem Young in particular with that new ball didn't seem to have that pep in his step that we've grown accustomed to seeing from him. But today, definitely he's running in more, bounding in, seems to be bending his back, testing out the shorter lengths.
Right, yeah.
Which tells you that his energy is up. He's more up for it here today, and you do expect that from young players. They've been playing quite a lot of cricket.
They've played a lot, yeah, for sure. And they were very unlucky in that Super 50 Cup too.
Very much so, to not make the semi-finals.
Yeah, probably you could say it was rain.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think Guyana would count themselves a bit lucky to get in.
Definitely, yep. It's nicely turned there by Frost to get off the mark through the mid-wicket region.
I think also when you're captain and the leader of a team, and you're expected to contribute in both disciplines, batting and bowling, it does have can take quite a lot out of you, not just physically but mentally as well.
Yeah, because you never really get a chance to
really
have a
shut
break.
off.
Yeah.
And that's why actually I'm becoming more and more enthused about having fast bowlers as captains. We've seen it with Pat Cummins. I mean, if there is a fast bowler that qualifies to be a captain, the end of that.
Right,
over. We've seen Alzari Joseph
as
well in the regional Super 50.
I think that was an excellent move.
Excellent
by
move.
Leeward Islands.
Definitely. I think when you're a batter as well, being captain, it does have that potential to just throw off your game in terms of staying mentally fresh.
Yeah,
you
your
never
mindset
have that
and
time
everything.
to shut off. Whereas if you're a bowler, Zari can come off the field and just shut down for a little bit. Doesn't have to strap them on quite as quickly. It just stays a bit fresher for longer, I guess.
Another area where the game has changed, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
They used to say never make a fast bowler
Bowler
a
captain,
captain.
yeah. I thought it was quite an inspired decision from Australia to do it at the time in which they did.
Oh, that nearly snuck through again by
Nearly did,
Ned.
yeah. A Yorker leg delivery from Ashmead Ned.
Yes.
Yet to get a contract though for his Guyanese franchise, which is quite
Yes.
interesting to me.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on down there. You hear a few rumblings going on about the inner workings of Guyanese cricket.
Was we had him here in the Hurricanes set up for a couple of seasons,
For a couple of
wasn't it?
seasons, yeah. And then you see some of the things that actually took place in the Super 50. Vasami Permal losing the captaincy when he did. You can tell that things aren't the most harmonious in the Guyanese franchise, to be honest, at this point in time. A lot of rumblings. You saw Kevin Sinclair sent home from the CPL, and then you see him one game batting it opening, and then he's at number 9.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Hitman is still not coming on.
exactly. This one's high. Has he got enough of that one? I think he has. Big
Yes,
6.
First 6 of the inning.
So there's that positive intent we were talking about in terms of Scott McBeth, the last recognized batter per se at the crease.
Definitely down on one knee. Pulled it high, wide, and handsome through the mid-wicket region. Brings up the 102 for 8 in the 27th.
It's just one shot over.
I think that was the first 6 of the innings.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, Guyana certainly don't look a settled unit. I don't think Pamal was, I don't know whether he wasn't ready for the captaincy or didn't want the captaincy, but he didn't seem to take it with both hands, the opportunity.
That was it, Neddy! That was it, Neddy!
Going past the outside edge, there's Ned to finish that over. 27 gone. Ireland struggling along, 102 for 8.
But with given Tevin Imlock the captaincy for the last couple of matches, I wonder if that had anything to do with the fact that he was made vice captain of the A-team tour to South Africa.
Yeah, it seems to be
No.
quite highly regarded,
Mm.
Tevin Imlach.
I liked him as a batsman, but just the last couple of years he sort of stagnated a bit.
And that tends to happen. We see that happen quite a bit, especially
Too
to our
often,
young
eh?
batters. Yeah.
Mm. A change of bowler from this southern end. Joshua Bishop back into the attack. That one's played nicely through point for a single.
I think, to be fair, we've got a few young wicketkeeper batters in the region really pushing for higher honours. I think Rivaldo Clark comes to mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
You've got young Carlin Bowen Tuckett. You'll probably see him more in the 4-day matches. And that's bowled in.
Reverse sweep and clean bowled. Really threw that away, really, McBeth. There was no need for that, and he had to stay if Ireland were going to post any score of significance. And that was just a get-out shot, really.
Yeah, Joshua Bishop, the danger man, really, on this pitch.
And
Yeah.
bowling stump to stump
Stump
like
to
that.
stump. McBeth choosing the wrong option there.
103 for 9. West Indies Academy all over the young Ireland emerging team. Been a good morning for them here at Coolidge Cricket Ground.
It has been a very good morning. They'll be happy with the fact that they've not taken their foot off the gas at any point during this innings. The West Indies Academy. Very much a vast improvement from game 1, in which they were on top for long periods, and just towards the back end of the Irish innings just seemed to fall away.
Right.
Lost that momentum going into their innings as well.
Well, even the way they started this morning, the first few overs, you know, they gave a lot of loose deliveries, easy boundary balls and misfields. Looked like they weren't switched on, but
Pulled back quite nicely.
yeah, and that was through Captain Naeem Young.
Leading from the front.
Definitely.
I think young Johan Lane as well looks a good prospect.
Yes,
Seems to
yes.
have put on a yard or two of pace from the last time we've seen him, actually. Earlier here at the CCG in the Headley Weeks Tri-Series, I remember him
Yep.
picking up a 5-for,
Right, yeah.
bowling from the commentary end.
Oh, that's close.
It's going to be given.
Well bowled Joshua Bishop,
So Joshua Bishop
who'll be on a hat-trick
the
come
next time,
Tuesday.
yes. But he's taken 2 wickets in an over again here in match 2.
And that looked pretty adjacent, stuck on the crease there, Matthew Foster,
It did.
the number 11. So Ireland rocked for 103 all out in just 27.3 overs. Excellent performance there by West Indies Academy, who sent Ireland emerging into bat, and they've delivered the goods. 103 all out.
Yes, and the wickets actually shared amongst the bowlers here today. Naeem Young picking up 2. Bishop with 2 as well. McKenny Clark, Ashmead Ned, 3 for 12 from his 4.
Yeah, and Bishop 3 for 19 of 6.5.
Good all-round effort. Good to see the fast bowlers actually pick up 4 wickets between them on a pitch which I wouldn't say actually suits fast bowling per se. They would have done very well.
Definitely, they've done extremely well. And it means that West Indies Academy will just need 104 to win. And their full allotment of 50 overs. Thought we get a few more people here. Marley, have a look at the future of West Indies cricket. Always makes me, well, it hurts me, I should say, that people always complaining about the state of West Indies cricket, but when they get the opportunity to come and support the up-and-coming players, the future stars and everything, you don't see anybody.
Yeah, and there's a few here on show. Some really
Most
young,
definitely.
exciting
Yeah,
talents.
Yeah.
Jordan Johnson, Kadeem Allen.
But a great initiative by CWI to be able to get some international competition for them, and as you say, developmental series for both teams is excellent for Ireland as well.
Yeah, playing in foreign conditions.
Mhm.
A lot of them. It will be a learning experience, not just for the players, but also the coaches. You see assistant coach Boyd Rankin down there. Maybe just trying to find out what's going to happen. They're going to go back out, or they're going to take... It's a bit early.
Yeah, I think
be
they'll
honest.
just have the normal 10-minute break. won't
And then
they?
come straight back out. Umpire Gustav. Deep in conversation. But West Indies Academy really done the job with the ball today. 103. Ireland can only muster in their 27.3 overs. Should be a formality from here, shouldn't it, Terry?
It should. It should. They'd be very disappointed if they can't chase this down. But they should be fine. But talk about Naeem Young inserting them again as he did in the first match. But I think maybe, apart from obviously he may have seen something in the pitch, but also the fact that Cummins battered through that innings. If you take that score out, then you're only looking at 100 odd as well. So he might have thought that they make early inroads and they'd be able to knock these Irish boys over, and they've certainly done that. They've bowled exceptionally well. Good all-round team effort with the ball. And bowled Ireland Academy, Ireland emerging out for 103 in just 27.3 overs. So West Indies Academy chasing 104 in a must-win game for them to keep the series alive.
I think they're just trying to work out whether they're going to take a 10-minute interval or a 30-minute break.
Okay.
So I think we'll have news of that in the next minute or so.
I think 10 minutes would make more sense,
It would.
wouldn't it?
At this stage, it's 11:06. Probably just play up until lunch.
11:06 local time,
Local time here in Antigua.
Yeah, I wonder what it is in Dublin.
5 hours.
5 hours? Okay.
5 hours ahead, I think.
So about 4 o'clock
4
in the
o'clock.
afternoon.
Dublin, what a city, eh? Actually,
Yeah.
a good time. The land of Guinness and cider. Was very fortunate to actually play there on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
Malahide Cricket Club, beautiful
Okay.
cricket ground. That's where they play the international games. Yeah,
Mhm,
it's a
yeah.
lovely place. Quite a few players from this Ireland Academy squad hail from that Malahide Cricket Club.
So that is their main.
Yeah, it's
Club,
the
yeah.
main ground per se. But Irish cricket is broken up into 5 provincial unions, isn't it?
Right, yes. And they have been, I mean, I know they only got test status a couple of years ago or so, but they've been around the game a long
They have.
time.
They have.
Because of England, you know,
Exactly.
playing county cricket,
Cricket
and so,
and
yeah.
yeah. But now that's all changed, hasn't it?
Yes.
We were speaking about this in match 1. It's now incumbent upon the Irish administration to develop their own players.
Right, yeah.
Whereas county cricket played such a vital part in doing so in the last 10, 15 years or so. You think back to Boyd Rankin, who's an assistant coach here, went on to play test cricket for England.
England, yeah.
Owen Morgan as
Owen
well.
Morgan, right. Yeah, there's been a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Tim Murtagh, just retired this year from first class cricket, played for Middlesex and Surrey and Ireland as well. Paul Sterling, yet another one.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So it's these tours such as these go a long way in filling that gap that now exists for Irish cricket. That vacuum of professionalism that they could bank on.
So they've just got the light roller out in the middle as we wait to see when play will resume.
What we do now, we'll probably just head to a break and we'll resume when the West Indies Academy start their run chase.
Welcome back to the Coolidge Cricket Grounds, the home of Cricket West Indies here in the north of Antigua. We're delighted to join you with the news that we're resuming play here in this game between Island Academy and the West Indies Academy. The situation is that the Island emerging players could not withstand the pressure of the West Indian bowlers, and they crumbled for 103, all out in 27.3 overs. Well, the top scorer in that pursuit, in fact, in that innings, was Scott McBeth with 29. They had support at the top of the order from Stephen Durney, who got 27, and also Murray Cummins, who got double figures on 16. But apart from that, they fell apart badly, and the wickets once again were amongst the spinners, with both Ashmead Ned and Joshua Bishop having 3 wickets each, and 2 wickets each for Naeem Young, the West Indies Academy captain, and McKinney Clark. So Joel Manning is beside me. Joel, we are going to be here. If they don't get the runs by 12:30, the umpire's discretion will determine whether or not they continue in pursuit of the total, but definitely it's a paltry total. Liam McCarthy starts, and big Akeem Allen defends well. Any disappointment, you think, from the Irish camp?
Well, certainly, obviously, looking at the total, you would have to say that that is not what the coaching staff, in terms of Henrik Milan and Boyd Rankin, would have expected of them. However, a different job on the hand of them now. Kadeem Allen to face. If he got 40 odd in match number 1, Matthew Nandu alongside him, he got into the 40s as well.
Nandu actually got 59. So both would remember their performance in that game. And I think here for them, the plus would be, if they can, again, it's a plan, can they take it home?
Yeah, certainly, obviously, looking at it, a lot of time to get the rounds, not a massive total in front of them. And from the coaching staff's perspective, from a West Indies Academy perspective, they would want to ensure that at maximum, maybe just get to this total 1 down. However, on the other side of things, you're going to say, well, from an Irish perspective, the win looks very unlikely. However, you still want to see that fight from them. Can they take 4, 5, 6 wickets into the hut with them? Who knows, maybe even take it down into 8 and 9.
Well, they're getting good bounce, as we saw from the West Indies Academy players, the faster bowlers, the McKinney Clark, Lane, did get some bounce on this pitch. So Liam McCarthy has shown intent that he wants to bowl not a full length, but a shorter length down the leg side, the first wide of the innings. So 2 without loss here. I think the disappointment, though we saw the pattern of them losing early wickets, the top order and the middle order not coming to bear, there was no situation in which they could have stopped or stemmed the wickets that were falling. Ooh, that's a good delivery. Matthew Nandu playing inside the line. So the absence of Mears, Tom Mears, who featured in that critical 103-1 partnership with with Murray Cummins, that may have been missing because Cummins didn't go on. Worked down to back with a square, only a single. So the issue for them is, what can they do in terms of their batting? And for the West Indies, they have shown now that they were able to sustain pressure, which we didn't quite see in the effort in the opening game. Yes, they made the effort too, but that was negated. And now they have a chance to level the series.
Well, that brings us to the end of the first over in pursuit of 104. It's 3 without loss.
Quiet start, and you expect that. Should not be in any hurry here. That may be the prescription from the dressing room. They at least have an hour and about 10 minutes before lunch. So if they can play through this, as we noted, the note from the umpire's match referee is that simply, if the score is close to the target, they may extend that lunch period. But we look at that, you can get at least, let's say you get 17 overs. It is possible that this team could do it.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see the approach of West Indies Academy. I know that they usually say when you have a small total in front of you, still chase it down hard and don't necessarily play around with it. And because of that, I do expect Kadeem Aline to probably continue in similar fashion in terms of what he's accustomed to at the top of the order, jump starting the innings, as they would say, taking advantage of the power play. Fionn Hand will open the bowling from this media centre end.
Well, Ned almost got, himself in a tangle, because that one was coming back into him and he was playing on the back foot and was cramped. The right arm bowler coming from around the wicket. Matthew Nandu, he just needs to continue from where he left off in the first game. Had he been there, we believe that the flowing drive down the ground, just playing it well timed, and McCarthy will not catch it. The ball goes into the boundary for 4. Well played stroke from the youngster.
That's certainly well played indeed. It was really all about that balance at the point of impact for Matthew Nandu. Allowed that ball to come to him, and it was really all about that timing, allowing it to race away towards that long on boundary. A good way to get things going for him. He moves now to 5.
And he just needs to continue. Allen also, we know he's no nonsense player, the more assertive of the two. Gets a wide, the second wide of the innings. So don't have to worry with that. So the contrast between both openers, well, yes, they're left and right combination, the left being Nando Alin, the right-hander. Also the size, Alin the big guy, Nando the smaller guy, and Alin the dasher, the aggressor, Nando the more subdued. So quite an interesting foil here. You mentioned on Friday in the opening game that Alin has done what he's accustomed to do, but you'd like to see him go beyond what may be expected or what may be a pattern, just push beyond that. So here is an opportunity for him to say at the end of the day, I want to be not out. Play it away in the air, but will it beat the fielder coming around to the boundary? No. Oh, yes, it does in the end. I'm trying to flick the ball back. The ball, good shot from Nando. It was away from any of the players. 2 players in pursuit, and in his effort to flick it back, the ball took his boot, and Nando getting his second boundary and the second of the over.
Yeah, here's the difference between the surfaces that we're playing on. Had it been Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, that ball probably would have found the hands of maybe cover, given how far out he pushed out of that one Nandu. With the ball coming through a lot better here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Pushing away from the body, coming off of what you might probably say is the outer half of the bat, but because the surface is just a bit quicker, flying away just in front of what we're doing, that point region, backward point, quite backward there on the field ring.
he goes. They have gotten the first wicket down the leg side. The ball angling across him, and he was just trying to tickle it, got the edge onto it, and the West Indies Academy have lost their first wicket. Nando, yes, excitement there.
Strangled down the leg side, as they would say. Nandu has to go for a run of ball 9. It's now 12 for 1.
12 for 1 and a good time to strike. After 2 overs, Fionn Hand having a hand in getting the West Indies Academy off to what is not a good start, because they're in pursuit of just 104. And Nandu was unable to build on his top class innings in the first game. And Leonardo Julian, the wicketkeeper bat, comes out to replace him.
Yeah, you just saw a little difference in the way Nando approached this innings here today. Looked a little more busy in terms of wanting to play a few more strokes than we saw in game number 1. That could also be because of the surface as well. I mentioned the fact that it's a lot better for batting. The ball is coming onto the bat quite nicely, allowing a few more batters to play the ball on the up, something that we've seen in that Irish innings, something that we're going to see as well probably in this West Indies innings. But on this occasion, though, strangled down the leg side, not a way that any batter wants to go, but Ireland will take it. And it's interesting to see the field that they have now to Kadeem Ali. There's a man at slip, and there's also a leg slip employed as well for Liam McCarthy. McCarthy coming in as one of the replacements in this game, one of 3 for the emerging Ireland side. It was Liam McCarthy, Morgan Topping, and Michael Frost. The 3 changes for today. Probably thinking they can also get Kadeem Ali down the leg side. Gives himself some room to access the offside. And here's where I say for sure that you do expect Kadeem Ali to continue in similar fashion, regardless of what the target is for them. And that is going to present emerging Ireland with an opportunity to take his wicket. They were a little loose in terms of the lengths at the top at the Vivian Richards Stadium, and that allowed him to capitalise. Can they keep it tight here to him? Well, spliced away. One bounce down towards the third man. The work being done by Matthew Foster.
Well, Aline continues to show aggressive intent. You can't really fault him for that. He's a strong lad. He's focused. He's in the background there, just perhaps saying what he may have done. Good to see now the change in ploy. Leonardo Julian is coming in, and already you've seen what, 2 slips in place and a gully.
Yeah, indeed, and it goes back as well to what would have happened in game number 1, where he got off the mark, opening the face down towards gully. They had it gully vacant. They plugged that gap afterwards, and since then he had to work extremely hard for those runs. So certainly an opportunity here for them against Leonardo Julian, given the fact that once they plugged that gap, he had to work extremely hard for those runs. You saw a couple shots out of character where he instantly started coming down the wicket, was dropped when it was just about maybe 2 or 3. Went on to just add a bit more.
It is quite ironic, as you did mention, the pitch here is not just faster, but truer, playing pretty well, yet the batters have failed significantly.
There's a couple errors on the part of emerging Ireland. That's not to say that West Indies Academy did not bowl well. Also, they, especially coming off of what would have been into the 5th and 6th over for them. That's probably where they would want to be a lot more for Leonardo Julian. The end of 3. It is 13 for 1.
It is interesting because the Irish, from their standpoint, the emerging Ireland team, from their standpoint, after 6 wickets, the game wasn't any different from Friday. But yet, there seemed to be a little bit of looseness, if I may use that in the batting. Quite a couple of players getting caught out high in the air, just trying to swing at the delivery. At the same time, you saw the West Indies Academy under the captaincy of Naeem Young. They were able to really get it together as a team, and you saw that purpose approach to ensure that they prized them out. But you really expected, this is a pitch that could have been a 300-run pitch.
Yeah, you instantly thought that would be something onto the body of Kadeem Ali. They asked fine leg to come into the circle, sent the man back onto the deep square leg boundary. Probably not getting that one up as high as he wanted to do on that occasion, Fionn Hand. But once again, though, you like the fact that you're seeing thinking cricket on the part of emerging Ireland, knowing the fact that they must pick up early wickets here if they are to apply any form of pressure to the West Indies Academy.
You're definitely seeing that in the field, but in the field placement, you've seen that if it were a trap for Matthew Nando, that it worked down the leg side.
Doing quite nicely. Brilliant work though, being done by Morgan Topping.
Gets off the mark, in fact, Julian. I get a sense that he himself is aware for the ploy that was set in the first over that he faced. The two slips the gully. Looks as though he has a sense of awareness, because in his innings, one of the things that we saw is that he was opting to play on that offside through cover. You rightly said through gully, but on this occasion, he's content at playing it straight.
It was interesting to see the signal of the keeper before this in Doheny, before that ball was delivered. You saw him signaling for something around the eye line of Kadeem Ali.
Ali would not be daunted. He likes it up. He likes it short. He likes to get things going. You look at Julian and you see he's so well set. His stance with the bowler coming over the wicket, his position, deciding not to play early, but at the same time you get a sense that his bearings are right. I always wonder, I know these days you have wicket keepers that open the batting and come high up in the order. One of the things that we were looking at in the previous game is whether or not Teddy Bishop could have come at number 3, giving Julian a chance to, I know he's young, but rest his legs, see a bit more before he gets out there. But he's technically proficient. He would have to bat at the same time. That's how he's got to make his name, not just standing behind the wicket.
Dead ball. You working, buddy?
You had any thoughts of that? The wicket keepers batting early?
Yeah, if I am to be honest, none really, given that we've seen it happen time and time again across international cricket, across all levels.
I think it started quite a bit with Adam Gilchrist in Australia. Also you had Sangakkara. Those were the leading lights. Oh, down the leg side again. He was having a swing at that. Wanted to work it out. I gathered. Perhaps just forward of square. Missed it completely. Yes, it's a wide, but at the same time, they must be seeing something there, because the first left-hander went down the leg side, fishing, not fishing, but flicking at one. Now Matthew Nando went, and Leonardo Julian should have had a look at that. And you go down the leg side, you got to go. Got to get the timing on it. Over completed. 17 for 1 after 4. Lovely background, former sticky wicket stand, the former area. Below that was used as the Hall of Fame in the previous dispensation of the ground. But now it's CWI manned, owned, controlled facility. Oh, that was wide. He was playing at it, but I got the impression he wasn't committed because there were no movements of the feet. He just had the bat not thrown at it, but playing at it.
Yeah, it's a good length that they're currently bowling to Kadeem Aline. Just back of a length, as they would say. Edge found and dropped. I mentioned the fact that it was a fantastic length that they were bowling to him. Produced the edge on that occasion. Chasing another wide one was Aline. Not there entirely for the drive. Also the width of that one. And Doheny will be disappointed with himself on that occasion. Got the gloves to it and spilled it. That would have been a big one for them.
Definitely a straightforward catch for the wicketkeeper. Just moving to his right. Then it's exposing that approach from Aline. Very little movement of the feet. And this time you see a short delivery. So they're doing their work, the Irish. They're looking at the West Indian players. They were able to work out Nandu, and now Aline, after his innings of aggression in the first game, he is now at sea. And that is through some degree of analysis that would have been done after that first innings. Once again, just not only back of the length, but outside the off stump, a bit away from his body. They're not coming at him to give him the chance to play over the top. But they're asking him, are you going to meet it or are you going to leave it? But he's playing at it, and he's not getting close to the line of the delivery if he's going to play.
Yeah, the thing about it is that is once again in that in-between length. So he was able to score his runs in game number one with the balls that were extremely full to him, allow him to capitalize and go over the top.
Drives. The ball coming off the outer part of the bat, but down to field at wide third man. So he gets a single, and he won't mind a single.
There was a good period of sustained pressure, would have to say,
Yes.
from McCarthy, sticking to what should have been done. And as I mentioned, it was a fantastic length that they were bowling to him, whereby he's not one that is going to necessarily get very deep, play that cut shot there. And in fact, it wasn't necessarily even length to play. The cut should have been left outside that off stump. But given his attacking nature, he's going to be drawn in to playing those types of strokes. He saw the hands go away from the body each and every single time. And now plug that gap, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of the gully field. Well, that's the end of 5, 18 for 1.
This will be good for Aline, though. You go back and you see that you have been worked out. He now needs to come. He now needs to review. He now needs to rethink in consultation with his partner, and then say, okay, this is what I have observed. Can I make the adjustment? And he has to make it. He doesn't have the benefit of the coaching staff with him out there. He has to execute, and we hope that such will be the case as he progresses in his innings.
Batter. Right hand over.
Looks as if we're going to have the first change bowling from emerging Ireland. It's going to be Matthew Foster into the attack now. Right arm over still to Kadeem Aline. Played beautifully back down the ground. Won't get to the boundary. somewhat slower in terms of pace is Foster in comparison to Fionn Hand. Still employing the man at deep square leg on the boundary though.
He looks very organized though, Aline.
Just persisting with that back of a length to Kadeem Aline. I like the fact that he's going to have to force him to find another way to score runs at the top of the innings.
Yes, they're going to try and make something happen, these Irish boys. They won't contain the West Indies Academy with only 103 on the board, so they need to bowl them out, obviously. They have intentions of winning the match. They've already picked up one.
Well, that delivery is somewhat similar to what Foster would have picked up Kadeem Aline with in match number 1. In that game, Aline got through the shot a bit too early, getting somewhat closer to the bottom of the bat, and was taken very easily at what was a wideish mid-on type position.
Julian, right time round, 1 remaining.
Yes, he was almost through that shot again, a bit too early.
Opting to go around the wicket now to Leonardo Julian. Just very interesting to see differences in approaches. Well, that brings us to the end of 6. It's 21 for 1. Love the pictures of a helicopter there making its way, I believe, towards the airport. And it's going to be another change. In fact, no. Liam McCarthy will continue from that CIU road end. He's bowled so well so far. Just 5 runs coming from his 3 overs. Had the chance dropped off of him in the previous over.
Yes, by the wicket keeper, pretty straightforward catch. Got the gloves to it, should have held on.
Yeah, I like the change that they've made as well in terms of the field. They had 2 slips previous to this. They've now taken that second slip and put him at a gully. They've got a man very backward at point as well. Somewhat of a slower bouncer on that occasion to mix things up. But certainly once again, you probably expect him to go back to that just back of a length wide of that off stump. Kadeem Aline chasing once more, and that is where that wide gully fielder certainly comes into play. Upish, but through the gap in front of point. And that one trickles into the boundary.
Yeah, short, wide, outside, off. And Aline just standing up tall. I'd say he did hit it on the up. It was in the air, but found the gap. Through the covers for another boundary, so 25 for 1 in the 7th over.
Oh, this
And
time
again.
all along the carpet. Gift accepted by Kadeem Ali. Back-to-back boundaries for him.
Full toss that time, trying to overcompensate. And Aline up to the task. But interesting what you say, though, Joel. It always interests me that when you're in situations like this, and obviously you haven't got enough runs on the board, too many overs to contain the opposition, you never see it. But you'd like to see. We wait. Steered to backward point, no run. You'd like to see more or less a test field, stack the slips, bring them all in. You're going to score the runs anyway, but you got people in catching positions, you know what I mean? And give yourself every opportunity to take the 10 wickets that you require. Again, cracked through the covers again.
Chase
Sees
is
the
on.
rope.
Good work being done by Cade Carmichael to keep that one down to 3 runs. So a very productive over. 10 runs coming from it. It's now 32 for 1.
It's good over there for West Indies Academy. And Aline continues to show his worth. 19 now of 24 deliveries. Leonardo Julian just getting into his innings. They only faced the 9 deliveries for 1. 32 for 1 after 7.
Yeah, in fact, 11 runs coming off of that over. If it were Liam MacArthur, I wouldn't necessarily be too disappointed with a couple of the deliveries in that one, and I'll explain why. That would have been what we consider a spectator's catch on that occasion, a bum ball. But yeah, the first one that went through point, it was uppish, and it was exactly what they were hoping for. Just simply a case of he was a lot more in control of where that ball went. The first one through point. The full toss, obviously a massive mistake for him. Going searching, maybe, but for the most part, he tried sticking to that plan that produced the edge in the previous over. And he's bowled him.
Straight through him, not trying.
So Foster gets the breakthrough for Ireland. And Aline has to go.
And that's a big wicket for the Irish boys. Just straightened on him. Took the top off. An excellent delivery there by Matthew Foster. Ireland pick up their second, 32 for 2 in the 8th over.
It was just very interesting, and I'm not sure if those who are watching picked up on the question just now from Kadeem Ali. He approached Leonardo Julian and he asked him, did I play down the wrong line? And in a way, yes, because obviously the ball left him, but it was a fantastic delivery as well.
Definitely.
From Matthew Foster. Would have played for the ball coming back into him on the angle, bowling over the wicket, and that speaks to the quality of the delivery just now from Matthew Foster, because he saw Leonardo Julian and gesture that it actually just left you a bit. So fantastic wicket there for Foster, you would have to say. Delivery that any fast bowler would love to see time and time again, rocking back those stumps. But success for them, 32 for 2. And it brings young Teddy Bishop to the crease.
Yes, it was a brilliant delivery. Probably ball of the day for sure. And definitely outdid Kadeem Aline. Straightened enough to go past the outside edge. As we look at it again on the
just looking at it,
replay.
because I also want to look at the footwork of Kadeem Aline. Their feet not really going anywhere. And that's also what I believe contributed to his demise on that occasion. Was kind of caught in between. You really see it in how he off-balanced after that one. Probably get that again after this delivery. Oh,
Nice
brilliant.
shot.
That is the way to get off the mark. Oh, that's going to put a smile on the face of Teddy Bishop.
Yes, with some authority. Driven beautifully back down the ground, all the way along the carpet for 4. Yes, he just failed to, as you say, he didn't move his feet enough and failed to cover that off stump with the ball straightening. That's what did it.
Yeah, actually similar deliveries almost on that occasion. Getting into maybe a better position was Teddy Bishop than Kadeem Aline.
Good reply. Right up in the block hole, but dug out by Teddy Bishop. .36 for 2 in the 8th over. It's good to see that the Irish boys haven't dropped their head after a pretty ordinary batting display.
This time on the pads. The call is for 2, and they're going to have to push for it. Fantastic work, though, keeping it down to 1. Scott McBeth out there doing the work, coming in off of the deep square leg boundary.
He tucked the ball nicely, did McBeth, restricting the score into a single.
You're opting to continue with a round the wicket
To the left-hander.
to Leonardo. A dot ball to close out the 8th. It's 37 for 2.
And so Fionn Hand 1 for 13 off 2, and Matthew Foster 1 for 8 off 2 are the wicket takers so far for Ireland emerging. As I say, they're still having a go. They'll drop their head up. Now they'll be very disappointed with their batting effort. The welcome back, Vernon Springer.
Yeah, we say still morning here in Antigua and Barbuda. We say thanks to Joel Manning who called it right. Kadim Aline. Feet caught on the crease, played around a straight one rather than getting the left foot out. He's a big guy. Got to get that stride out. Down the onside. Signal a wide by the umpire. Teddy Bishop fluent in his first scoring boundary. Always wonderful to see a player hit the ball down the ground. Score in the meantime. Start of the 9th over. 38 for 2. And Terry, can I say congratulations to Australia? Are you Australian?
You can if you like, but I'm coloured blind.
You're colorblind. Here's Bishop just turning this down to the deep backward square leg fielder. Delivery there from Fionn Hand. It's pretty interesting, Terry. From 2014, you just look at the India trying to see if they can cross the line all the time. T20 final, 2014, semi-final, World Cup semi-final, 2015, World Cup semi-final in 2016, 2017, World Cup semi-final, 2019, Test Championship final, 2021. Come back to that, T20 World Cup semi-final, 2022, World Test Championship final, wide delivery, and then it's being called wide again to the left-hander junior, and then the World Cricket final today. So they'll have to go back to the drawing board.
Definitely. Yeah, underachieved, haven't they, on the big stage?
At the international level.
Mm-hmm.
But it must be a lot of pressure, Terry, having to represent 1.4 billion people. It's almost like Brazil. You have to deliver on the big stage. Naughty shot there by Julian. No feet movement at all, just more hands.
Yeah, nothing shot by Julian.
Yeah, left foot didn't move up at all. That ball was wide enough. He's got to be able to get that left foot across, get deep in the crease, and be breaking down backward point. He's still trying to rehearse that he's just going to look to play the ball there. The higher you go, got to look at your base and your balance. Bat speed as well, too.
He's struggling, just 1 of 11 deliveries.
He's trying to manufacture a shot there. And again, because his left foot, because he's not balanced, Terry, he's not been able to get that's supposed to be a comfortable single. Had his left foot got across, then he could be able to display the ball right there. Vast acres of land on the leg side. Just trigger movement of just getting back on a cross, get deep into the crease, and work the ball around.
Yeah, because on the leg side, they've only got a short, fine leg inside the circle and a mid-on. And cover on the mid-wicket boundary.
The art of batting, Terry. Runs have been hard to come by today, Terry. 16 boundaries in the match so far and 1 maximum. Ireland will be very disappointed in the way they approached the game today.
Yeah, the way they went about it didn't seem to be tuned in enough.
And he's out. That is a poor dismissal.
Very poor. The only
Off balance, Simon Leonardo Julian got a sharp ball. He was never in position and he just helped the ball around to the fielder on the fine leg boundary. Could have just rolled his wrist over, Terry.
Yeah, taken
Still
one and be
looking
happy.
to go clear. Let's look at that again. We play Terry. Look at us telling you about the feet movement. He was not in position.
No.
And he's still looking to go high and far. Because even if he got into that position, just roll your wrist over and keep it down.
Yeah, because there's only one man out there and he's hit it straight down his throat. So West Indies Academy lose their third, 44-3 in the 9th over. 1 ball left of the 9th over. They still need 64. 7 wickets remaining.
I look at the context of the game and I would have to feel that Jordan Johnson or Teddy Bishop would be a better option than a Julian in at number 3. But that is history. And I think they will have to go back to the drawing board and kind of rethink. Also, Karim Ali, he's got to be able to work on that stride. He's got to know when to. He's a big, tall guy. Get your foot out to the pitch of the ball. Very, 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 very early, especially when you're playing on these tracks.
Yep.
He's more looking for power. And he's shown during the brief period of time that once he got his foot out to the pitch of the ball, that he's a decent player.
Right, yeah, most definitely. He hits the ball very well.
I got some time for him. I think he's a good investment. And like I said, he reminds me of a Phil Wallace. But Jordan Johnson is not a Phil Wallace. He's on top of this and just spanking it down to the cover fielder. And at the end of over number 9, the West Indies Emerging Academy, they're 40-3, Terry.
Yeah, it's a little tricky situation, Vernon.
Yeah, but they should not have lost so many wickets at all.
No.
Poor dismissals. In fact, if I was an opening batsman today, I'm Ali and I come out and I said, listen, I want to get myself I just want to just bat 20, 25 overs, get myself a not-out score.
Yeah.
I think that's how you have to be approaching it.
Yeah, 1 for your averages, 1 for the team. But Nandu come too far across his stumps and got strangled down the leg side. And Aline got his off-stump rock back.
They need 64 more runs, Terry. So the approach right now from these two would be lunch is expected to be at 12:30. Just back to lunch. Just spend some time at the crease. Just spend some time. It's a new track. When you leave from here, next game is at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Then you come back here for the 4 days. So prepare yourself mentally. Spend some time in the middle. Last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of rain around here. So you got cricket. Dig in. worked into the short mid-wicket area straight away. Teddy Bishop,
Boy,
he gets off the mark. A return,
nearly got his ankle broken.
yeah. I think it was Carmichael who quickly apologize.
But you talk about the
No, free
amount
on hand.
of rain we've had. I'm very impressed with the outfield here today. It's been rather quick for the amount of rain that we've had.
That doesn't surprise me, Terry.
Trains well here, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd expect the landscape of that here. Still quite a lot of work to get done. I'm really much kind of concerned about the tracks. I need to speak to Kadim Phillip and find out. To say, listen, you got to give me a quick track. I'll listen to you guys, you and Mali, and you on. You know, we tend to have a lot of turners up here at Coolidge.
No.
Left-hander Jordan Johnson, that one sort of kept low. Again, there was no real movement of the feet there from Jordan Johnson, just the hands. But he just come in, so he's going to maybe take some time to get himself going.
But you make a good point, Vernon, and we've spoken about this in depth before, that the pitches do need to improve. Head coach of the white ball setup.
Here is Johnson
That's
getting
good
a
shot.
wide ball and just spanking it over backward point down to the boundary for 4. Now that's the difference with a Jordan Johnson as compared to a Machu Nandu.
Mhm.
Johnson is looking to score
And moved into the
yeah,
shot.
Have to be able to get that momentum going in your way. Now you see, Terry, we're supposed to be the home team against England. You know, what sort of tracks are we looking at? Are we going to prepare spinners tracks? You know, come back to that, Terry.
No!
Bang on target again is Matthew Foster. He's bowling with some good pace here, Terry. Matthew Foster bowling a heavy ball.
Yeah, and he's a big strapping lad. But he definitely has pace.
Yeah, if your coach is Boyd Rankin, what do you expect? You're a
Wow.
big tall guy.
Yeah,
We're in a big number too, 23.
23. Shot.
Driven beautifully to the offside for 4. What a lovely shot by the young man Jordan Johnson. Oh, that had a lot of class on it. Beautiful shot. Look at him.
Down on one
Stayed-
knee.
Yes, and he posed for the camera. You know, Philip Spooner with his camera. No ball signal there.
Oh,
So,
free hit
Yeah,
coming up.
free hit coming up. So it's even like a cardinal sin to bowl more or less to overstep, especially in one day competition.
Definitely, but that was shot of the day in my book.
Yeah, because he did stay in the shot,
Yep.
didn't rush it. That's something I feel Nacho Nando has to work on. He has to stay in the shot, stay in the moment. Balance has to be right. He's smacking that, but he'll get away with that. That's okay. It's a free hit.
Yep.
And sort of undone him there for pace. 50 up for the West Indies Academy. 51 for 3 at the end of 10. So they look like, as the late Vincent Deming would say, and St. Kitts, one of the head curators and groundsmen, an early day for the beach.
Yes, and Sunday as well. That's always a good beach day in the Caribbean.
It matters which day?
No, it doesn't, but I'm just saying.
I was just checking.
Well, the Irish wouldn't know that, would they?
They're out here. They want more sun.
Well,
And
now
the
they
sun-
got the opportunity. They got all afternoon.
the sun is now belting down now.
Yeah.
They really need more sun. Based on what's happening with the weather in that neck of the woods, to be able to come out here, you'll be thrilled.
Absolutely. But I was just saying about head coach of the white ball setup, Darren Sammy. He brought in the point system in the. We wait for this delivery. Brought in the point system in the Super 50 Cup, and getting players to be more aware of the game situation and everything like that, which is excellent. I feel, but a lot of people say, but what about the pitches? The pitches still need a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, but you can't get more bonus points than an outright win. So they have to re-examine that.
Yes. Yeah. It does need tinkering, for sure.
You have to. Here is Jordan Johnson up and over, uppercut.
That's gone
all the way for 6. That is a lovely shot by Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, again, deliberately lifted that.
And he hit that massively over extra cover for 6.
He's got some flair, this boy.
Well, he's demonstrated that on his last tour.
Yeah. 3 centuries.
And what I want is for these young players to now transform this talent and the hunger into the first-class arena. That's what you want. We just had a completed Super 50 over, Super 50 competition. And, I caught some stats yesterday when we were on Friday with Mali and Seth. And, we have to begin to question out of the present form players or people who are in the white ball setup, only Kyle Mayer scored 100. You come at this level, you have to show your maturity. You got to show your class.
Right. Oh. Can't catch a straight, Vernon.
It's gone for
again.
6 more?
Why?
It's almost like a tennis smack sort of thing, like
I think he's read the wind direction, hasn't he? Hitting with the breeze.
His forearm. You got to look at his forearm strength there. Mali plays tennis,
Definitely.
so Mali will be able to tell you that. It's almost like a back foot sort of punch, like a boxer. In the meantime, Jordan Johnson is gone to 21. Fear and hand to Johnson. Banged it in short. He just comes in stylishly, just works it into the short middle good area. And they get a quite easy single. I like the approach here of Jordan Johnson. Partnership is 24.
Yes, I think he wants to finish it before lunch, Vernon.
Lunch is 12:30. Maybe Mali. Yeah. Mali and Seth maybe might bring home the bacon, as they would say. But you never know. Maybe we'll have a power diesel lunch today.
40 to win.
Well ball, well played, good comeback delivery. Good stride there coming out there from Teddy Bishop. So the break comes up. Mali Richards will get into the hot seat. Congratulations are in order to Team India. And I know, Terry, that a lot of folks would have betted against the odds. But you know what happened, Terry? You can't be dominating. There's always something. You always look for a bad game. And somewhere along the line...
You should have it early, shouldn't you?
You thought that India should have lost early?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. We never know. Better earlier than this. And this always happened. And I know...
Better late than never.
Going into this game there, that would have been a psychological pressure. I hope that everybody's okay. Because you're talking about 1.4 billion people who are very disappointed that the Australians would have just snapped that away from them. And if you listen to the Australians, right, even Pat Cummins, he said one of the beautiful things that I would love to do is to shut up a 1.4 billion people. That would be so brilliant. Well, he's certainly done that, and he's taken back the World Cup trophy to Australia.
Yes, I don't think too many people would be talking to him tonight.
But he'll get an IPL contract.
That's the main thing, isn't it? Well, let's hope they haven't burnt the stands down or done anything ridiculous.
Well, on last sight, I think the stands are safe for now.
Good.
They're good.
Oh, so they are learning, no?
Commiserations to India, but it's fair to say the better team on the day would have come out victorious.
Yeah, no, what's that? Number 5?
Six now.
Yeah,
World Test champions as well.
And they won the 3 of them this year. Yeah. Well, the last 3.
The last 3 on offer. But let's talk a little bit about Jordan Johnson, though.
Yes.
That shot in particular,
That's far more interesting.
a bit like, a backhand over long off for 6.
Yeah.
When he first hit that, it almost seemed like it would go, it seemed like it went straight up. But the way it carried
just
some
kept
good
going.
10 yards or so over the boundary. Amazing shot from the young man. And I did say this morning, I was very excited to see him. Didn't get to see that much of him in the regional Super 50. Obviously, the Rising Stars Challenge wasn't streamed. Was it? Do you remember if it was? I don't remember seeing that anyway.
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah.
No, no.
But his innings of 22 from 11 here today.
Oh, see, Philip Spooner
That
says
strike
he's an
rate.
extra special talent, Marley.
You think back to his performances in the just concluded regional Super 50. Played 6 matches, 5 innings, 140 runs. Just the 150 though, but that strike rate, 93.95. That stood out to me when seeing that for a young player.
Right.
And if we're also looking for young white ball batters who move the game on, almost in the modern way of moving the game on, especially in the power play, I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on, especially Caddy Malin as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Both in the same mold, very attacking type players.
But just the disdain at which he plays his shots.
Yes.
I mean, the two that he hit were on either side of the wicket. He deliberately lifted them over backward point or point region. And then, as you say, the one down the ground was a sensation.
And he played quite a sweet front foot drive as well through extra cover early in his innings as well. So just showing an ability to be quite competent of both front and back feet.
A bit of spin now, Mike Frost. Will come on from this, the
Young Johnson has,
southern end of the ground.
yeah, he's just created a bit of excitement around the ground, hasn't he?
Yeah, 22 off 11.
This one,
And that one is over,
a bit aerial.
but into the boundary again.
Another
Over
boundary.
mid-off. A sprawling mid-off. Into the boundary again. So there's only 36 required now, Marley.
Yes, playing with all the confidence that you'd expect from a young man who's been in pretty good form this year. He's looking to transfer that form from age group cricket to the professional ranks. But I tell you what, he's definitely, everyone's taken notice here of this young man here today. That shot in particular over long off. That was not a normal cricket shot, to be honest.
No, it wasn't. It was also, the time he came in was a bit of
Bit
a
precarious, yeah.
40 for 3, you know. They didn't need to lose another one straight away.
It's going to be the left arm Frost, though. Up against Bishop this time, who's also quite an attacking player in his own right. 7 off 8. Quite a soft dismissal in match 1, actually, for Teddy Bishop. Caught it mid-on. Didn't quite read the googly, just lobbed an easy catch. Just seemed to be...
I like him though.
Yeah,
Bishop.
I do. And obviously he's another one who's been heavily invested in. He was at the Windwards Volcanoes last year.
Yeah, and he had that good tour of the UK too, didn't
With
he?
the West Indies under 19s,
Yeah.
yeah. He's come back now to the West Indies Academy.
Rather tidy over there by Frost, apart from the boundary of the first ball. That partnership has reached 30 now between Bishop and Johnson.
Johnson's
got
scored 22.
22 of them, yeah. So 74-3 after 12 overs, just 34 more required now by the West Indies Academy.
And you could tell that this young man was really keen to get out there. The way he swaggered to the crease, just had a little bit extra about him. The way he swaggered to the crease, he's confirmed what I thought so far. Still quite only faced the 13 deliveries, but just 33 now, 34 runs left for the West Indies Academy to level this series. Ireland had a chance to actually win the series here today, as I'm now joined by Seth Burton.
Good afternoon, Mally. I listened to you, and the same way I'm feeling about this youngster, I'll say it is the way I felt about you. You were about 17, I believe, just beating balls. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but oh, that's a beauty. And Teddy Bishop had no answer. But the thing about that youngster, even before he went out to bat, and the credentials that we knew at the age group level, when you saw him on the field, you got a sense that he was enthusiastic about it. And similar to what I saw in you, and there's a comment that your father made just the other day. His first World Cup, in the final, he didn't score runs, but the feeling mattered.
It's the attitude, you know.
Exactly.
How you go about your business.
So when I'm seeing that, the package that I saw with him on the field, whenever he had an opportunity, throwing the body, attacking the ball, and then the positivity that he's transferred to the game, and most of the guys are his seniors, the other batters are his seniors. He's just 18 years old. I mean, he has immense talent and the right attitude, and I just really hope that the right things happen. Because oftentimes we have the right attitude, the right skill set, the right everything, and the environment is just not conducive. And I'm excited.
Well, if you think back to the Jamaica Scorpions performances in the regional Super 50, and some of the players actually selected in that team,
comparatively,
and the fact that he had to find a way in the CCC
team
in order to get a chance at first class level, it really does make you wonder.
That's my question. Again, well played once again. Another four, Mally, at a different part of the ground. He's adept at point. He's adept down the ground. He's adept to the covers. He's adept sweeping. I mean,
all round.
360 player.
Yeah, off the front foot, back foot, offside, leg side. You saw, you know, he really announced himself with those big hundreds in the youth tests. You look at
in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, 149, 157. It's a big hundreds for a young man. And there again, that's going to be another one.
Oh my.
Easy power.
Let's look at that again.
Easy power,
just
all
the,
hands.
Just the foot coming down and an action between the wrist and the forearm. No big flourish, no big. Let's look at that.
Definitely. Have a look at this one again.
This is incredible.
From how he
look
wide
at that.
Outside that off stump, almost against the turn there. Beautiful cricket shot. The base was solid. I think we've got another one here. And as you say, Seth, is the next 12 to 18 months will be so crucial to his
what's going to
development.
happen? And I think those are the, sorry to say, losing moments of West Indies cricket, where we lose sometimes our best talent after an under-19 opportunity. After somebody got a hold on this young guy. Lovely shot by Teddy Griffith. He's adding the flame, fanning the flame closer to victory. But I think while we are excited about the prospect of victory, we are looking at the quality that we're seeing before our eyes.
Definitely another quality shot there from Teddy Bishop. Just lent on that one. At times looks quite languid in his style, doesn't he? So then when he does get out, you tend to think, oh, that's maybe a lazy shot, a la Carl Hooper
Yes.
type.
Even his peer, Kevin Wickham.
Yes. But that's another beautiful shot. Reverse sweep. So all the shots are coming out now.
Yes.
Since Jordan Johnson has come to the crease, he's just added that impetus, and Teddy Bishop is following on where young Johnson has led.
And that's what confidence does. He comes out, he's authentic, he's calm, but yet he's not going to be pushing around. He's showing that he is in command. And I think he has a bright future. West Indies on the 19 should be looking with some measure of confidence for this World Cup.
Yeah, and just after this ball, we get back to some of the inner workings of the territories and selection. You think that just think back, and non-selection per se. If you think back to the Jamaican Scorpions batting lineup, you look through that top six. Look at a few of the players. Yes, Chadwick Walton, he's performed. That's to be fair, but he's getting up there in age now as well. Orthodox sweep this time from Bishop. You've got Andre McCarthy as well, another one, just getting up there in age. And you just think this young man, what he's shown. We spoke about his exploits in Sri Lanka, and he should have been definitely, what's the partnership, 50 now between this pair.
And you're right. How do you not give that talent that opportunity? And you look at how the team ended in terms of the overall performance.
Yeah, look
from
around.
champion to what? And then you resist introducing perhaps
a young
your best talent.
such as this. It's makes you wonder, that's for sure.
He's a Wolmer boy player from Kingston, Jamaica. Perhaps that flight may well be heading to Kingston. But he wants to book his ticket, knowing that his ticket is booked for the West Indies on the 19 tour. The question is, and that was one of the things, I'm going to get back to that. The question is for us, usually when the West Indies were successful as a team, there was always a young player emerging, coming into the setting. We have not seen that for a time, and I was wondering during this series and even the Headley weeks, who would be the next young one that the selection panel could have said, hey, we're investing in you. We have not seen that. I mean, yes, we have had the Hetmeyer, the Alzheimer, but their time has already, they're the now.
They're not young players.
Precisely, they're not young players now.
Yeah.
6 years ago they were.
Yes.
So who is the young player who will fit into the setup?
Well, I think we've seen young Mackenzie.
Yes,
force
Kirk
his
Mackenzie,
way
yes.
into the reckoning of his exploits here in the Headley Week.
That's right. But
as well.
I think he's more foil for that test.
Right.
Test session.
I think Alec Athenes.
Yes.
He's definitely
right.
A young
not
player.
But not as young as
the others.
Teenager.
But young Jordan Johnson here. You've got Rivaldo Clark.
And why is he not here? That was my question with Vernon, my discussion with Vernon on Friday. And we're not trying to be difficult, but we're searching through.
Especially when results haven't been the greatest. So when you get these young talents who announce themselves, surely
you got to hold on
them
them
with both hands and bring them into the fold and try and develop the talent. But I think even from what we consider our most developed cricketing region or territory per se here in the Caribbean, Barbados, you look at that selection of that regional Super 50 team, a Craig Brathwaite
he's opening the batting, has no way to go in
really in the white ball format.
That's the point.
That's the point, really. And then he ends up playing 7 or 8 games, has a strike rate of 40, and then you think that's just a wasted opportunity for a young player.
That's right. Let's hope we get it right. And for years I've been saying the issue with West Indies cricket is not talent. And I've held that position for the last 7 years, and I'm still holding it. It may be, you may say the pool is not wide enough, but I think there is sufficient, the right mindset, the right nurturing and enabling environment.
So a poor delivery and he's made to pay for that one. Swung away through the leg side now, so West Indies Academy easing their way to victory here.
Yes. And they were saying that if the team was about 20 runs shy of the total,
We'll go all the way
we'll
through.
go all the way. But this looks as though we are 3 minutes away from 12:30, so we're definitely going all the way through.
And the way these two are playing, don't anticipate us being here
Maybe
that
for
much
another
longer.
over.
Disappointed with that one though. It's Bishop.
What's that?
And you heard the youngster, you heard Johnson. Come on, Teddy. He's not just encouraging himself, but he's encouraging his partner.
39 of 20. We saw what the ceiling, the potential ceiling of a Kadeem Aline as well.
That's right, I think. Oh, what a beauty. Teddy Griffith is backing away instead of really meeting the ball. He's backing away. Unfortunately, he survived at over 96 for 3 at the end of 15. Pretty good going and amazing performance here. 39 from Jordan Johnson.
That,
Four.
and that final delivery there from Howie to Bishop, pretty similar to how Bishop got out in the first game. Not quite reading that googly, going away, going leg side of the ball, exposing his stumps, but just managed to survive on this occasion. It's going to be Frost to continue though with his left arm orthodox.
7 runs. Well, in fact, 8 to get.
It's been quite expensive as Frost. He's gone for, 17 off his 2.1 now.
I think they have given up the ghost. Island. He might
At least it leaves it finally poised for match 3, doesn't
exactly. That's important.
it? Going into match 3.
I believe maybe the West Indies coaching staff.
Oh!
Sorry. Can I have the ball?
Just a bit of over exuberance there from the number 10. Cade Carmichael was looking to throw to the wicket keeper. Got his throw completely wrong and nailed Jordan Johnson right on the helmet.
Jeez, at the back of the helmet. Oh, wow.
It's a bit unnecessary. We've got the physio on now doing the concussion protocols.
That is,
He looks to be fine.
yes, but that is was just so unfortunate. The youngster has been displaying the best talent and he was not in.
That could have been
The
nasty,
action.
to be honest.
That's right. Well, fortunately for him, apart from the fact that he has the helmet, he has quite a bit of hair. And sometimes you may be surprised
The
to
cushion.
know the cushion, that's how important that is. He's a strong lad.
He's got a smile on
smiling.
his face.
He's smiling.
It's
No
a
joke.
well-built young man as well,
Yes.
quite stockily built.
Yes,
Strong legs.
They can't destroy who seems to be.
And most people think, sorry Seth, that the power comes from the top half of the
Yes.
body, the upper half. But just looking at how he's built there and the strong thighs and quads.
Everything. He has the boxers built.
Yeah, he got himself in solid positions to launch. You can understand why an unorthodox shot such as that we saw earlier in his innings
And
balloons over a long off for 6.
Teddy Bishop wants to finish it now. And he gets the scores even with a wonderful 6. It was flighted. And he charged down and played it so elegantly. Over long off. The scores are even. And the West Indies Academy, they are sailing home to victory. And we're only in the 16th over. We expected a long day, Mally, but now we have had a short one.
I did not come here this morning anticipating that we would be finished by lunch, to be honest. So fair play to the West Indies Academy to come back in the way in which they did. The Irish team would be very disappointed, though.
103 for 3.
They just haven't been at the races today with either bat or ball. And to be honest, it would have been difficult defending such a paltry total of 102.
So the guys, well, the
Think
ball
they've
has
got a
been
lost
found.
ball.
Yes. They have found the ball in the end.
Stuck in the ficus, as they say.
Teddy Bishop, that level of confidence can do much for him.
28 of 24. Jordan Johnson, though, a lot of talent on show.
And that's it. The win comes 4 runs from Teddy Griffith. Take him up to 32 and takes the score on to 107. The West Indies Academy, 107 for 3. Jordan Johnson remains there on 40 from 29 deliveries. What a performance by the West Indies Academy, beating Ireland emerging players by 7 wickets. And they have done so, Mally, in fine and fantastic style.
Yeah, they've romped home here today. Joshua Bishop leading from the bowling aspect, 3 for 19 in his 6.3 overs. But it was an overall fantastic bowling performance from the West Indies Academy to dismiss Irish Academy 403. The wickets were shared. 4 wicket shade between the 2 fast bowlers, Johan Lane, Naim Young, and the rest between the spinners of Josh Bishop, Ashmead Ned.
Yes, both of them taking 3 wickets. Josh Bishop, you would see him there having 3 for 19, and his 6.3 overs, they were telling.
McKenny Clark as well.
Yes,
Sorry,
McKenny
I forgot
Clark,
him.
he did come and
chipped in with 2 for 20.
yes, and also, well, the captain had 2, so 3-3, 2-2. That really paved the way for the West Indies to have a comfortable victory, but at the same time, you know, the Irish, they were really coming back into the game. That's what they thought before young Jordan Johnson really came in and blessed us with a nice special innings.
Yeah, they couldn't really find the partnerships that they needed today, Seth. You know, that 103 ninth wicket partnership went a long way in posting that competitive total in match 1. But with Cummins actually removed when he was a real experienced class of this batting lineup. No Mays in this 11 here today. Just proved a bridge too far for the Irish Academy.
Yes, certainly. And as we look at it, West Indies Academy doing their job and doing it quite competently and quite comfortably. And I think, Mally Richards, when we look at the real consensus here, though, Joshua Bishop came in the middle of the innings after there would have been wickets from Young and McKinney Clark to get things going. When we look at the context, we, as commentators, we believe that Joshua Johnson, this special innings, 40 from 23 balls, 4 fours and 3 sixes, would have won him the Man of the Match award. I think it's something special for him to look forward to, and he's somebody special for us to look forward to and hope that he's well nurtured. Yes, we don't discount the fact that Teddy Bishop came out and got 28 from 24 deliveries, but there was just something special about Jordan Johnson's knock, and I think he's also setting the pace and perhaps raising the expectation and the bar going into game number 3, which will be played on Tuesday at Sir Viv Richards Cricket Stadium.
Yeah, he didn't play in match 1, Jordan
No.
Johnson, so came into this series really excited to have a real close look at the young man. What he showed us today should leave us all very excited for what can come, not just in the future, but in the present. I think the quicker these young players can learn and adapt to the pressures of professional and the international game, I think it just bodes well in the future.
So we hope the best for West Indies cricket. We have a 1-1 situation here. The West Indies bouncing back from a 26-run defeat in the first game, the West Indies Academy, to win by 7 wickets here. Quite a contrast in terms of performance. So we look forward to joining you on Tuesday on behalf of our commentators, Vernon Springer, Terry Laraji, Joel Manning, and our technical crew, and Mally Richards, who is beside me, who may well be giving Joseph Johnson some tips.
No way.
We were
Not
delighted
from
to
me.
be here, and we look forward to joining you on Tuesday at 9 a.m. at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds. On behalf of 360, we're delighted to have given you full coverage.